Diversify your portfolio before it's too late. That's why we're offering an emergency gold and silver protection kit valued at $49, absolutely free for anyone who calls today at 800-900-8000. This kit includes critical information for investors with a retirement account seeking to own physical gold and silver, but want to do it tax and penalty free. Advantage Gold has helped investors protect and secure their wealth with physical gold and silver since 2014. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 and we'll rush your emergency gold and silver kit plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. See how gold and silver can help you protect and secure your wealth with the help of Advantage Gold. Results vary. Consult your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
A federal judge just has confirmed our suspicions. A federal judge will not allow the Department of Justice to subpoena Tim Walz and other Democrat politicians in the tens of billions of dollars that have been stolen because the policies were created to do so. This is good news for Illinois scumbags. I couldn't help but notice as I drove around all the abandoned construction jobs. A lot of frickin' cones, nobody working. Millions of dollars all over the state. You Democrats are stealing in the light of day. We'll discuss this and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A breezy afternoon with a high of 74. 36 were shot, at least 7 fatally across Chicago over the weekend. Police investigators are also probing a mass shooting that left more than a dozen people hurt on the south side in the 200 block of West 95th. Vice President J.D. Vance at a Swiss resort talking peace with Iran.
We wanted to build a mechanism for keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. It is open. We've seen, of course, gas prices and oil prices come down, millions and millions of barrels of crude and natural gas flowing through the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran says it has shut down again that oil shipping lane in protest of Israel attacking Lebanon. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is resigning. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan is dead, passing away at the age of 100. 2 people have died due to strong storms Sunday in southern Illinois, in Jefferson County, where the sheriff confirms the deaths near the small town of Dix between Salem and Mount Vernon. Southsiders take on Cleveland at home tonight. Cubs begin a road series with the Mets. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges, and you can join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages kicking off the new trading week mixed as investors monitor the latest developments between the U.S. and Iran. However, struggling big tech weighed on the NASDAQ. Consumer discretionary and communications services were the worst performing sectors, while healthcare and industrials advanced. And shares of Elon Musk's rocket company SpaceX falling for a third straight session and suffering its biggest one-day decline since going public earlier this month, with its stock falling over 16%. And Salesforce stock fell 1%. Its shares dropping for a 14th straight session, its longest losing streak on record. The Dow winners, Caterpillar, JP Morgan Chase, and United Health Group. The Dow decliners, Amazon, Microsoft, and Home Depot. The Dow up 148 points, the NASDAQ lower by 351, S&P 500 down 28. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher believes the left is extremely upset.
They're angry, they're bitter, they're disconnected from reality. We got USA chants at the White House, jets roaring overhead, and the left is just raging, while the rest of us are just happy at the way things are going. The message is clear. They don't love America because America loves Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9 on AM 560, The Answer.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith and bring hope into your everyday life. Whether you're searching for encouragement, biblical wisdom, or practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God's promises. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No. Nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith doors and security systems company since 1981.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The outbound Eden, 17 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook Road. On the Kennedy, downtown out to O'Hare, 40 minutes, while the outbound Eisenhower is a 50-minute trip. Post Office to 390. Northbound I-55, watch out for an accident at Weber. Stevenson outbound 48 minutes out to 355 from downtown. And the Dan Ryan 22 minutes to get to 95th. Outbound 4 traffic is tight 115th to the Steel Bridge. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is busy and the Tri-State, both north and southbound on both of those. Jane Addams and Reagan are fine. And scattered delays on 355 either way as well. Roadwork northbound 53 into Kirchhoff slowing things down. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low temperature of 56. Moving into Tuesday, anticipate partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high reaching 74. As we head into Tuesday night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made. Squirrel, did I say 40? I said the under-over is 40 in the ghetto of Shirakistan. For Chicago honor roll students, public school honor roll students shot. Now, CWB has it at 42. ABC News has it at 40. And NBC has it at 37. See, they're late reporting because Democrats don't like to work. I noticed that. Well, I was going to a friend of mine has a business in Elk Grove Village, still has a business there. Wonderful business, fantastic people. And I couldn't help but notice all of the cones and no workers. I say there's miles of cones, nobody. It's like they're parking heavy equipment out there. More money, more money, more money. It's stealing in the light of day. And how much of that goes on in the most corrupt state outside of Ukraine, known as Illinois? How much? How many millions and millions and millions and millions? Well, it's even more in the real corrupt state run by Governor Stupidface, Tim Walz. Finally, after all of our calls for something to happen, The Department of Justice says we're going to start to subpoena these thieves. And before I play the judge that's throwing it out, let's just revisit this a little bit, shall we? When it comes to how obvious it was that money was being stolen, specifically as it was being created, I don't think you can go much further than these particular Minnesota Somalian pirates.
All right, this news just breaking moments ago. Fox News has obtained photos of one of the Somali illegal immigrants wrapped up in the Minnesota fraud scandal, posing with several high-profile Minnesota Democrats, including Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. The man pictured is Abdul Dahir Ibrahim.
Now, he's in all campaign pictures. Now, keep in mind, when we left on Friday, we talked about in our own very well-run mafia state how Ghetto Loretto Hospital, the judge just threw out the case and allowed two low-life, low-living, high-ranking Ghetto Loretto officials to steal from the American people in excess of $800 million. And the judge tossed it out. We also covered throughout the last 3 years how Minnesota judges, particularly females with those big belly buttons on the fupa, those judges, those sexually frustrated dweebs, threw out convictions of juries. Don't worry about it. You guys go ahead, you Somalian gangsters. Billions and billions of dollars. We now have more information that the ringleader, one of the ringleaders, they're hard to tell apart because they all married their cousins. They look very similar. One of the ringleaders is in numerous campaign photos, from Keith Ellison to Tim Walz to the one with the laundry on her head who married her brother, Ileana the whore, Omar. And it appears he's going to get away with it, too.
Entered the country in 2000 and has had an order for removal since 2004. He also has a prior conviction in Canada for asylum and welfare fraud.
You see what he's got here, Squirrel? He's got himself a business plan. It's like a business plan, only this is a business plan where there is no business. There's just some fraud LLC, and you cut a scumbag Democrat in. Woo-wee. Now you can get yourself one of those cones on a highway that nobody asks, why are no workers here? You're doing it here too, scumbags.
Tells Fox News Ibrahim was granted temporary protected status for 10 years, but should have never been eligible. We are going to have more on this in our next hour.
Yeah, here's more on it. They got away with it, and it was created. These policies specifically were created to be robbed in the first breaking of a scandal. That dingbat whore married 5 times, once to her brother, now to some white guy who has a bunch of front LLCs that are worth $30 million, Ileana Omar. Just as it was going down, she figured, you know what, let me get one for the Gipper. We're going to have one just for my legal expenses. Here's a small one. We'll just steal $1 million. In the midst of COVID, nobody will know.
Covered the other day, and one of our spending bills making its way through Congress was a $1 million earmark from Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, which was an earmark that was supposedly going to a substance abuse clinic, which actually happened to be housed in a restaurant. And
substance abuse clinic housed in a restaurant right next to the bathroom and the tavern. Right next to the bar. You go to the bar, you make a left. Not in the ladies' room, in the rehab center, you filthy Somalian pirate Democrat greasing scumbags. That's how it works wherever there's Democrats, not just on York Road. Oh, where's all the guys working? It's Monday. Busy? You're on break, huh?
Well, in one building, we saw 94 companies. There's one landlord that
How many?
94.
In one address?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You would think.
Do me a favor, Squirrel. Get the name of that fraud construction company on York Road that's got all the cones and all the traffic cones and all the machines parked. Get the name, and then let's look at the political contributions. I'd like to parlay my over 40 for Chicago public school kids shooting other Chicago public school kids. I'd like to run a parlay. I will bet you 99% of the money by these half-assed construction companies with a bunch of fat slobs hanging off a bar stool somewhere. I will bet you 99% of all the campaign contributions of those drunk owners goes directly to the Democrats. We'll start with Fat Boy Pritzker, but he don't need the money. They're going to go through Chris Walsh. Oh, he's easy to buy. He's your old-fashioned Maywood Democrat. You buy that pimp for about $50, won't you?
State employee would catch that. I mean, that's part of the problem, in my opinion, Mr. Chairman, with Medicaid is it's overwhelmingly federal dollars, but it's administered by the states. So the states aren't is concerned.
You know what that means, Squirrel? That bald moron, Kwame Raoul. If you've ever met him, you want to talk about Sling Blade. There ain't no gas in it, Kwame, you stupid son of a dog, but you're an asset to the Democrat mafia, right, dummy? He's the one who's supposed to keep in charge of keeping an eye on the thievery, which is why the only thing you can do in these times when states become absolutely and totally correct is hope to God that the Department of Justice can at least subpoena these political whores like Chris Welch, the wife beater, stupid-faced Kwame Raoul, stupid-faced Tim Walz, and all these Democrat whores, even the one with the laundry on her head married to her brother, that fracking tramp. And you get them there, and you hope that they do that thing where they open their mouth. And as Democrats, you know a lie's coming out. So there's a year and a day, and you start to figure out exactly who ordered the code red. Was it Tim Walz, stupid face, or Ileana Omar? Or was it Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama who understood once they opened the doors, you could steal $30 trillion, we'll put it on the debt, and nobody is going to look for it. And when they do, don't worry, we just appointed some of these moron, fat, homely judges.
A federal judge has thrown out the Trump administration's retaliatory subpoenas targeting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Now, see, you can only get this now because right now, American media, the propaganda and Department of Agitation, known as the three big ones, they're figuring out how to put lipstick on the fact that there has been $12 billion that has been intentionally stolen. Most of it out of the same fracking address, the same ghetto neighborhood, and the money ends up right back in Somalia. And they have to figure out, boy, even morons can see this is gangster government. Even morons can see it's gangster government. What are we going to do? So they start to test it. This is a Minnesota Democrat moron posing as a newscaster. Listen to how he reports it again.
A federal judge has thrown out the Trump administration's retaliatory subpoenas targeting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz following the violent ICE crackdowns in his state.
No. You must be one of those kids that lives in the basement by their mother, never paid any rent, don't want to pay your college loans off, don't want to pay for your health kid. Has nothing to do with the sanctuary city of using morons and gangbangers and lowlifes as head counts for stealing votes and for fluffing up Medicare and Medicaid costs to be federally bailed out. Because Minnesota, like Illinois, is a ghetto parasite state. They get the bulk of their money, 35% of their budget is from reimbursements. Illinois, I wonder at this new number, I know they hide it in tax increases, but we'll never know because Illinois got the capo de capo. You like the mafia so much in Illinois, that nine-finger Yakuza, he reared his ugly head. You want to talk about ugly. Of course, the Emanuel brothers are all ugly. They look like different versions of Uncle Fester, with hair, without hair, all scummy with baggy eyes. Rahm Emanuel is going to challenge J.B. Pritzker and any Newsom as the next candidate for president. And the Democrats love it. They want to get in. Why not? This is the home of the La Cosa Nostra. You could steal in Chicago. Look at what the Daily Mafia, short in the pants, did to our once great city. Now it's an improvement when only 40 get shot on Paul Lisnick Day. Look at what it's done to Cook County and Illinois. And you know what? They still celebrate it.
So, check the oil, kick the tires, move the mirror around.
What's going to be the key to...
Wait. Is this the part where you pretend to be a man? You pretend like you bought a car? Listen here, biatch. You don't talk like you work on cars. You move mirrors around and kick tires. You've never done anything in your life. And the one time you had a job at a deli, you cut your frickin' finger off, stupid.
So, check the oil, kick the tires, move the mirror around.
What's going to be the key deciding factors to whether or not you're going to get in this? Basically, you've said that you're going to know after this whether or not you can have success. Is that going to be a deciding factor, or is it whether or not you have something that is going to help the process?
Well, first, on the success side, it's not like I have an...
He always talks like he's holding his breath, doesn't he? This slimy scumbag lowlife. Hey, and Rahm Emanuel, you and the two brothers, anytime you feel jumpy, baby, you give me a call. We'll put a bologna sandwich in a room. Me and those three scarecrows you call brothers. You and your two brothers. And we'll see who eats that sandwich and who sits in the corner crying for each other. Are you nuts? You wouldn't last 30 seconds, bum.
The Wikipedia page.
Tough guy, huh?
You know, I'm fine.
Kick your ass on my... When I got
this
the flu, I'll kick your ass.
You think you have the answer to what I think is ailing America, which it's lost its mojo.
Ailing America
lost
its mojo. Who you talking to, stupid? Markets have never been higher. Businesses outside of your Democrat ghettos, boomtown. It's insane the amount of money that's being made. The stores that are opening up. Don't look in the city you ruined. Don't look in the ghettos, New York. Don't look in California. Look at the 11 states that make up 70% of the GDP. All of a sudden, what are you so morose about? See, you have to sell that self-loathing stuff, Squirrel. You have to sell it. Because when people are so self-loathing, they gave up on themselves. Now they're willing to be Democrats in America, like they are communists in Havana or Marxists in the Soviet Union. Now they just want to get drunk, put their feet up, and play victim, like every lowlife rat Democrat. Or they're even more diabolical, like those half-assed gangsters who pretend to be road construction guys. And they go sit in a tavern, wait for checks to roll in when nobody works. Those are the two scumbags left voting for Democrats, the leeches and the pirates.
Never, ever have accepted failure as an option.
Never?
And we have become complacent with failure.
You are failure. Every Democrat area, failure and scandal, every single one. From Baltimore.
According to his employment contract, Dawson will earn a base salary of $345,000 as CEO, with an additional $48,300.
$400,000, and fewer can read than in Shirakistan. L.A., more scandal.
Embattled LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho is resigning. The LA Times reporting tonight Carvalho submitted his letter of resignation tonight to both the district,
Minnesota, Ohio, New York, New Jersey. Pick a ghetto. Everything a Democrat represents is failure and crime. Oh, and let's not forget crooked judges. All fat and ugly, mostly women with fupas. All of them willing to cover up for mafias, whether it's Ghetto Loretto or Minnesota Somalian pirates.
A federal judge has thrown out the Trump administration's retaliation.
How'd you get the job? Kamala Harris knee pads? 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Croscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Croscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Croscom.
Call Croscom.
630-871 storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Croscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not deserve the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how Croscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
For business, for high quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
Rick Borick talks about the risk of being.
It's easy to drive around with no seatbelt on if you never going to go down. I don't need protection for my portfolio. We're a but we're also a bigger fan of not taking you.
7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 5.
Advantage Gold, America's #1 storm is coming, and that now is the time to diversify. We're offering an emergency for anyone who calls today at 800-900-8000. This with a retirement account seeking to own physical gold. Advantage Gold has helped investors. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 and we'll rush your Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. See how gold and silver can help you protect and secure your wealth with the help of Advantage Gold. Results vary. Consult your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up.
and you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything: design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com, to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sir, about the long-running FBI investigation in defeating our future? Yes or no?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Emmer.
Reclaiming my time. When did you investigation? That's all I'm asking.
Representative Emmer, as you know, I have addressed
time. In that same meeting with the fraudsters, Mr. Attorney General, you took aim at the Minnesota Department of Education had fought the nonprofit in very disgusting ways, in a very racist. You actually asked for the names of all these folks who are just hung up and offered to call the Minnesota Department of Education to, quote, demand some explanations.
These are their lawyers in charge of investigating the state. He's on tape. He is on tape, not just incriminating himself, agreeing to work for the Somalian fraudsters to distract attention. He is a thief. And when asked about it this weekend,
if you ask the newspapers for a forensic accounting, the number you mentioned is tightly identified with people of a very unique political persuasion aligned with the Trump administration. So I'm done talking to you. Bye-bye. No, I just wanted you to clear up the...
Turns out, when you're a Democrat thief and you're caught, all you got to say is you're aligned with Trump and you can walk. That's the game, and that's how it's played. Patrick, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, what do you hear? What do you say? I love your show, man.
Oh, thank you, babe. Go ahead.
Hey, well, I'm a Chicago community activist in Chicago, okay? And
how'd you do this weekend?
I did.
Anybody get shot?
Well, man, I got to tell you, it's hard to come out at night sometimes because, you don't know if you're going to get popped.
It's like the song. The freaks come out at night. Then they're out in the afternoon, and then in the morning, well, you're freaks. You're surrounded by freaks. Go ahead.
Yeah. You got to be very careful because you got a lot of like gangbangers. I call them clown bangers. You got pervs. You got all kinds of weirdos.
Yeah. Well, you know what you could do, Patrick, and everybody will know what you're talking about. Just call them Democrats from now on. It's very unsafe out there. There's a lot of Democrats. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And as an activist, I arrange press conferences. There's one press conference I did in front of Theodore Roosevelt High School was concerning Byron Ortega. He was a dance instructor over there, and he raped 2 young boys. A circuit Democrat judge gives this scumbag 30 months of probation. I kid you not, Shaun.
I think I remember this to some extent. How many years ago was this? Was this in middle of COVID or in the beginning of COVID?
This was a couple of years ago, a couple of years ago. Yeah. And CPS tried to slide it underneath the rug, The media doesn't want to do it because Fat Pritzker owns the media, Everything's hush-hush. But the parents were pissed off at the sentence, and a judge by the name of Arthur Willis put this guy on electronic monitoring, and he's known for putting criminals on electronic monitoring. And we know that doesn't work out very well.
So in my neighborhood, you know what a couple of wise guys would do? They would go visit this guy, and they would put that electric monitoring device on some sort of a poodle that they would tie to his house then, so there would raise no suspicion, and nobody would see that son of a gun again. That's how it used to work, Patrick. But even back then, they may have gone along with those scum dailies because they were the pirates now, and now their kids are those ones who own the phony construction company on York Road. But they had a little certain character when it came to gangbangers and drug dealers and child molesters. They didn't tolerate it then. But now, welcome to New Chicago, where that's all you get. Terry, Shirekistan.
Hey, Shaun, you're a good math wizard. Obama's leasing Park District land for his $850 million library for $1 a year. But if you park in front of there, you pay $4 for 1 hour for the parking meter. Don't you think that Obama should carry more weight as far as fees?
You're thinking too light, brother. Do you know why he's doing that? Do you know why?
Go ahead.
Okay, so when you lease land from the Park District and you stiff everybody that worked on your building, when you stiff every contractor, every subcontractor, who are they going to put a mechanics lien on? You don't own the building. It's the perfect stiff. You understand? All the contractors have no recourse. And one by one, you watch them go out of business as you stiff them and never pay. It's the perfect Democrat play. You're thinking too small. You got to think in the big league like a big scumbag. Think Obamacare. And look at what that one scumbag did to our healthcare system. Think he's worried about a mechanics lien? He's got you 8 ways to Tuesday. This is the same scumbag that negotiated the Iran deal as he enriched his Muslim brothers. We'll be back.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Now that spring is here, it's time for some spring home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560. You'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with Center Guard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. Center Guard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive spring special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit centerguardplumbing.com.
She gardens, cooks, and sews. She's running for town council, and she was doing it all in pain she couldn't ignore anymore.
I had 3 muscle tears in my right arm and 1 in my left arm. I'm a quilter, and I could not hold the material up in the air because I couldn't lift my arms above my shoulders without severe pain.
Surgery? Not this busy lady. Susan booked a free consultation with QC Kinetics. Her customized regenerative treatment plan finally calmed the pain in her shoulders.
I am able to now go back to quilting 100%, and every once in a while I think, oh wait, that didn't even hurt.
The QC Kinetics treatments had given her shoulders new life.
It was like a new shoulder had been put in. It's your own body healing your body. No foreign anything.
The future of joint pain relief. It's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. Schedule your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
312-642-5600. Chelsea Clinton, you remember Chelsea, the puggle of human beings with those chipmunk cheeks, but she's a multi-billionaire and she's never paid for anything in her life. She's chiming in on the political climate. So maybe it'll be the 9-finger Yakuza and the dog Chelsea for the 2028 nomination of the gangster sloth suck-ons known as the Democrats. We'll take your calls at 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A high of 74 this afternoon, and at least 36 have been shot, 7 fatally over the weekend in Chicago. Responding to the violence, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
We're not going to tolerate the senseless acts of violence.
Chicago police are continuing to investigate a mass shooting on the South Side that left over a dozen hurt. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is resigning after winning a landslide election in 2024.
I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess.
Chicago's professional rugby team achieved Major League Rugby history. The Chicago Hounds went undefeated and with a win yesterday over California, clinched a national title. Southsiders take on Cleveland tonight. Cubs begin a road set against the Mets. The news, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free, 560theanswer.com/podcast. Your next news update comes your way at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now the latest from the AM 560 Traffic Center, and here is Jill Urchek.
Good afternoon. Here is a check of the roads this afternoon. The outbound Edens is wide open. The Kennedy to get out to O'Hare from the Jane Byrne interchange, that is a 40-minute trip with tie-ups in the Express, Addison to Montrose. Eisenhower, 55 minutes. Post Office out to 390. Stevenson out 48 to Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Going out on the Dan Ryan, a 25-minute trip. Those express lanes are tight. 43rd out to the Skyway, but the Skyway itself looks great. Outbound 57 a bit heavy from the Ryan down to 103rd, and the outbound Ford from 115th to the Steel Bridge. Onto Saba Lakeshore Drive, that is heavy both directions. Tri-State, you'll also see tie-ups either way. Crash westbound Jane Addams at Terrell, blocking the right lane. Scattered tie-ups on 355, both north and southbound. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low of 56. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high of 74. Tomorrow night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
It is that time of year again to save babies by providing ultrasounds with our friends at Preborn. You know how this goes. We've done it every single year at this time. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, I want to provide a free ultrasound to a girl. Give her the chance to see the truth of what's happening in her body. Every $28 helps do that, saving one baby. $280 can do that, help save 10 babies. More does more. The phone number is 833-850-2229. 833-850-BABY. Join us saving babies with Preborn again this year. We're going to save hundreds of babies, one at a time, 2 or 5 or 10 at a time. That phone number again is 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or go online to 560theanswer.com/baby.
Healthcare has become frustrating, expensive, and overwhelming. But you can stop playing by those rules. There's a better way. It's called Crowd Health, and it's changing how people pay for healthcare. Crowd Health is a community where members, the crowd, come together to help fund each other's medical expenses. Instead of paying huge monthly insurance premiums, you pay a simple membership fee plus a modest contribution to another member's medical bill. When you get hit with a big bill, the crowd steps in to help you fund it. Plus, you get the support and tools you need to navigate your health event. Why keep overpaying? Cut out the middleman, lower your monthly costs, and avoid the endless billing headaches. Are you ready for a smarter option? Go to joincrowdhealth.com. Right now, you can get started for just $99 per month for your first 3 months when you use code BREAKFREE at joincrowdhealth.com. Crowd Health isn't insurance. Opt out of the flawed system and break free.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Estate jewelry, vintage watches, sell worldwide for true auction value. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
The judge blasting federal prosecutors in Chicago as they drop another high-profile case.
This one involved 2 former leaders of Loretto Hospital charged in an $800 million COVID-19 testing scheme. WGN's Angelica Sanders.
So they get away with it. See, you cannot live in a civilized society with the absence of objective law. Can't live like this. Cannot live in Democrat areas. People often say, oh, you're so hard on Illinois. You grew up here, and how could you be so hard? because it is the absence of law. It is the absence of any form of righteousness. Nothing is legitimate, from the votes to the towns you live in, to the counties you live in, to this entire fracking state, to the Supreme Court of the state, which had as the Chief Justice that big fat-ass gangster's wife for her second fracking job. And you walked around like you're proud of it. Like this nine-finger Yakuza, Rahm Emanuel, who in the midst of a one-time scandal, because he never worked in his life outside of politics, said he had $16 million, and then, oops, I worked in the banking industry. Oh, really? What bank did you work for? Nine-finger Yakuza. That the only time you had a job, you cut your fracking finger off, moron. What'd you do at the bank? Worked for a year, he made $16 million. $16 million? Well, you must have been good. Were you a teller? What'd you do? And when asked, the CEO said he went to work early and he stayed late. This is how our banking works. And all of this moron, these money bundlers with the pensions that they don't have to invest. It's one giant fracking scam. And it's the same wherever Democrats are. That's why when I play you Minnesota or Loretto or New York, they know it. They invented it. New Jersey perfected it. We made it an art form. And California, what they've done in this in daylight, that's the testing ground. Because I believe you can't live among them. And it's time for secession. And nobody wants to talk about it. Well, I'll talk about it because 11 states make up 70% of this country's GDP. Not a one of them run by Democrats, which means you cannot succeed in Democrat states. Even their half-ass construction companies. What they don't understand is that's tax money, too. You ain't making any fracking money. You're just shuffling around government spending, pretending you are. And therein lies the bulk of the problem. But we'll see how normal it gets in California. After all, this would be nothing in Illinois or Chicago, like 40 kids getting shot. What the hell's the difference?
Meanwhile, an investigation is underway after hundreds of recall ballots are found in the back of a man's car.
Mail-in ballots for the governor's recall race were found inside a car parked at this torn 7-Eleven with a man sleeping inside of it.
Democrats sleep in a car high on crack cocaine with ballots in the trunk, just like in Minnesota, which got the comedian from SNL elected as senator. Remember that? Same thing in the trunk. Al, what the hell's his name? Squirrel. Remember that step and fetch? What is it? Franken. Al Franken. He was never funny, stupid-looking bastard. Here's a guy that was a comedian because he was stupid-looking. Now you look at Minnesota, from the governor to Ilhan Omar. Who isn't stupid-looking in that state? When it comes to California, the wife, millions of dollars passed through NGOs. Who's supposed to keep an eye on it? Oh, the Democrat AG, like in Illinois. Moron Kwame? Hey, Baldy. Hey, moron. I know what you are. Just like the one in California, New York, or New Jersey.
Josh, great to see you. So what made you look into Newsom's wife in the first place, and what did you find?
Well, there are just always a lot of questions that seem to be swirling around the Newsoms and their finances, have been for years. And so I thought, this is a man who clearly is going to be running for president. This is worth looking at, what their finances are, what the shape of them are. And so when I had a look at Jennifer Newsom's charity, I found that she was paying herself since 2012 $3.7 million. This is a lot of money when you look at the amount that the charity brings in. It's sort of 1 to 1.7 million a year. And she's paying up to a third of that to herself and her own company, $300,000.
Who's going to catch her? Who is going to say anything? The Democrat lawyer, slip and fall scum lawyer who's in charge of California? It doesn't matter. Pickpockets do not cut their hands off. Gypsies do not indict other gypsies. Democrats cannot govern a state unless you want the mafia. Then you bring in the nine-finger Yakuza and his scumbag brothers. All three of you scum.
Reading at grade level, 50% of them. We've given up the competition without even a race against China. Look.
What were you doing in Japan? Hey, Nine Fingers. What were you doing in Japan? What were your qualifications to be in Japan other than being a suck-on to the Democrats? Clinton. Ooh, did I say Clinton Squirrel? I think I did. Here she is. Truly, this expression never fit more. Rearing her ugly face. Chelsea Clinton. I believe Chelsea is Pennsylvania Dutch for ass face.
And I think a lot these days about how to not play on their field.
She's got that lovable lovable softness in her voice, just like her whore mother. I'm talking to you, ugly. You and the Duchess of Chafington, Chicago's very own.
And what we need to do to not only kind of change the narrative, but actually just to overwhelm it with our own stories.
Overwhelm it with your own story.
And I think that...
Why don't we talk about your story, Chelsea, you dog? You want to talk about the wedding that was $3 million paid by an NGO? Or you want to talk about the fact that you somehow got married to a Wall Street Errol Flynn? Handsome kid. Did you ever see this kid, Squirrel? Talk about a guy that could keep his eye on the ball. He understands that old fable. You can marry more money in a day than you can make in a lifetime. Huh, D'Artagnan? And you married this dog. But you roll over, there's Chelsea with those jowls she calls a face, drooling on a pillow. You earned it, kid.
That is a more productive and to kind of build on what Kamal was saying earlier, a more sustainable and durable way to not only effectuate, but then to protect.
God. There's a voice Viagra should use for testing. Woof! Rick in Des Plaines.
Oh, my God, you're killing me. That Chelsea is ugly. And by the way, it's Park Ridge, right next door to me.
Yeah, Park, you got a lot to be proud of. Didn't you just have a transvestite parade with kids putting thongs in guys' G-strings? Yuck.
I think they did.
My poor friends used to live there from the Merc, and they were all proud of themselves. Now look at you. I told you what would happen, you Democrats. Go ahead.
All right, so first of all, I know you're standing up because I've seen you operate. I want you to sit down. Just relax. Inhale, exhale, and listen, I got a joke. Quick joke.
All right, shoot.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready, man.
All right, it's like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, except this one has 5 members of the family. The bigger family. There's Papa bigger, Mama bigger, brother bigger, sister bigger, and baby bigger. Who is the biggest of the biggers?
The bear, the little one.
Yeah, because it's a little bigger.
I understand. What do you think? You're going to get one over on me? Does he think he's going to get one over on me? These guys, they never learn. George, Naperville.
Yes, Shaun. As you search for activity, respect the cones. You're on the honor system. They know what they're doing.
George, you know what I did today? Because I had to walk. I had to drop my car.
You ran over the cones.
No, I just threw them all in the thing. Throw them all in the thing. That's it. Now you're in the thing. The cones are in the little hole they cut off. Because I was doing the math in my head. And I said, boy, this is a quarter mile. There's got to be, 600 fracking cones. They say there's probably 12 lambones on the job, plus an operator.
That's why you're not a conehead, Shaun.
Whoa, the money they're stealing right out in daylight. Make those guys at O'Hare jealous. Gee, I wonder why these road constructions take so long. You know, Squirrel, it was the thing after Ian, the hurricane, and everything was wrecked where I lived through it. Everything was wrecked, and I'm south of Sanibel Island, but they have this bridge there, and then all of a sudden they brought the imbecile Democrat in a diaper, Joe Biden and his whore wife, and then, this is terrible. DeSantis didn't even want to go. I don't even know if he went. If he did, he stood across the street. This will take 3 years. 3 years. You know how long it took them to have the bridge rebuilt, Squirrel? You know how long? 6 months. The difference between men and Democrats. Men work. Men earn. Democrats are Rahm Emanuel, run for office, and steal money through policy. It's that simple.
In my own time, I'm 6 for 6, never lost an election.
Never lost an election? Well, wait a minute. Whoa. Did you steal them all? Like you Chicago rat pig Democrats have bragged about since 1960? Did you steal them all? Like Al Franken? Like in California? Like in New York or New Jersey? Did you steal them all? You never won anything, whore. You have the plausible deniability and connections to just buy your office. You had a wedding dress in Chicago, too, right? Scumbag. Here's what you succeeded at. Look at the city now versus when you took office. Look at it when you took office. Look at it when you left office. Look at what you did. It's every bankrupt municipality, city, state, and county. It's everywhere people are leaving, and the scumbags get away with it. It's everywhere Democrats are. That's your legacy, Nine Fingers. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
This 4th of July, celebrate America the right way. Fire up the grill, invite the family over, launch the fireworks, and proudly display a handcrafted wooden American flag from uniquewoodenflags.com. These stunning hand-finished wooden flags are built with real craftsmanship and patriotic pride. Whether you want a classic American flag, military tribute flag, America First design, or a beautiful flag cross that celebrates both faith and freedom, they've got something for every proud American. Perfect for your home, office, man cave, lake house, garage, or as a meaningful gift for veterans, first responders, and patriots who still love this country. This Independence Day, don't just wave the flag, display it with pride. Visit uniquewoodenflags.com today. That's uniquewoodenflags.com.
Concerned about your retirement account or bank savings? Tired of stock market turbulence? Or simply curious about diversifying with precious metals? Tune into The Gold Show on AM 560, The Answer. Learn how gold and silver can help protect your financial future. Discover insights, strategies, and opportunities designed to help you make smarter decisions and guide you to more confident investing. Don't miss The Gold Show this Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
Every morning, students and faculty fill your school's hallways. And every morning, parents trust you to know who's there with them. With ID Supply, that trust is earned and visible. From student and staff ID cards to secure visitor badge systems, ID Supply helps you instantly identify who belongs on campus at a glance, while keeping your entire facility safer. Visitor badges expire automatically, so no one stays longer than they should. And parents, they can feel confident knowing their school has a system in place. Need supplies? We've got you covered. ID card printers, ribbons, and custom lanyards in your school colors. Most orders ship same day. Parents, if your child's school doesn't have a visitor ID system, ask them about ID Supply, because knowing who's on campus shouldn't be a question. Get 10% off your first order with code SCHOOL10. That's SCHOOL10. Visit idsupply.com or call 800-647-5562. Again, that's 800-647-5562. ID Supply. Trusted by schools for over 20 years.
I'm Gary Carr, retired homicide detective and the owner of Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian. For 10 years, we've helped more than 20,000 students become safe, responsible, and confident firearm owners. If you're looking to get your Illinois Concealed Carry license or need to renew, now's the perfect time. Our law enforcement-led training gives you the knowledge and skills to protect yourself and your family. Our 16-hour concealed carry class includes live fire training, one-on-one coaching, Illinois and Florida certification for expanded reciprocity, range qualification, and a full-color textbook. We provide the firearm, ammunition, eye and ear protection, targets, and range access. Need a renewal? Our 3-hour renewal class keeps you legal and current on Illinois firearm laws. Thousands of students have trusted us for professional instruction, flexible scheduling, and exceptional value. Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian for classes, less lethal options, and self-defense legal plans. Visit us at concealedcarrychicago.com to reserve your seat today. That's concealedcarrychicago.com, concealedcarrychicago.com.
America turns 250 this year, and Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is coming to the Chicago area to help celebrate. Thursday, July 9th at Chevy Chase Country Club in Wheeling, Illinois. Join an evening of patriotism, purpose, and our God-given right to bear arms. Dinner buffet and cash bar included. General admission is just $50. Want to meet Colonel West one-on-one? VIP reception tickets are $250. Go to faireramerica.ticketbud.com for tickets. This is your America. Celebrate her.
AM 560, The Answer.
Squirrel, I got a keen ear every once in a while when I can hear things. And I noticed, I didn't realize how daughter takes after mother aside from just being physically repulsive. I thought that was the Chelsea Hillary Clinton. But here's Chelsea. Here's Hillary.
Saw your husband in these photos with a young woman being massaged. What went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
I'll give you an example. If I saw a picture with my wife, it's just really hard to be relevant. If my wife saw pictures with me as a grown man, hanging out with obviously or close to underage women, regardless if it was before we were married or not, it would be a question. And so what I'm asking you is, did any questions regarding those photographs come to your mind?
I am going to just as clearly as I can say I don't see the relevance of your question. And
it's uncanny, isn't it? I mean, aside from the fact they're just liars, frauds, you could almost hear that mean twitch of biatch, can't you? It's a little bit hand-me-down. Not just the repulsive looks, but that Viagra Slayer voice.
And I think a lot these days about how to not play on their field. And what we need to do to not only kind of change the narrative, but actually just to overwhelm it.
Try Camels, honey. You could do 3 packs, might soften your voice. Yuck. Mark Oaklawn.
Shaun, thanks for taking my call. Great show.
Thank you.
Hey, I was watching some of that soccer, and Haiti's playing, and the commentator's like, they're such an underdog, and I'm sort of pulling for them myself because, they've had some really hard times with.
You mean aside from Chelsea and her mother who was doing the scissors with Uma and the intern molester, rapist, pig father stealing billions from Haiti? Is that what you mean?
Unbelievable, Shaun. And then the commentator's like, earthquakes, poverty. I was waiting for him to say Clinton's, but he didn't have the guts to say that. But on the other thing, I was going to say, I was watching that just a little bit of a segment where they show Bush at the Obama library, and he comes out there holding hands with his wife, and I'm like, he was a step and fetch it for his father, and now he's a step and fetch it for the Democratic Party.
Do you know what amazes me, Mark? Do you know what amazes me? First of all, Neil. Nobody talks of the scum brothers, aside from Jeb. Neil received $1 billion when George Bush Sr. was the vice president in a bailout on a front saving and loans he was running. Did you know that?
The silver loan.
Some nickel and dime saving and loan. He stole $1 billion, and the pappy bailed him out. And then the other son, Marvin, that master of character, do you know what he was in charge of? He owned the security firm for September 11th.
You can't make it up, Shaun.
No, you can. Well, for sure you can. There's CIA fronts and frauds. Every single one of them. CIA fronts and frauds. And that's why when you hear over the weekend, Tucker, CIA daddy, Tucker, who ran the Voice of America, was the Voice of America when George Bush Sr. was the VP all the way through his presidency. Tucker Carlson's dad was the Voice of America CEO, a CIA asset. So when you hear Tucker, I'm not going to support the Republican. Who gives a rip? There are no Republicans. There's just government suck-ons, frauds that you want us to pretend are on our side. Like Mitt Romney. You remember Mitt? He's another guy married to more broads than one, right? Yeah, that's a perfect idea.
He will lose to Hillary Clinton. Think about that. Trump nomination enables her victory. If President Trump continues in his campaign, if he became a nominee, I think he loses again. And
would you support him if he's the nominee?
Absolutely not.
Good. I don't want you scumbags even agreeing with me on who to vote for. It's time for secession. You take your scumbags. You guys could have Utah. It's a freak show there anyway. We all separate, go our own way. It's a big country. I'm sick and tired of you scumbags. We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
It's hard to deny the constant attack of negative emotions that flood us online. The fear, anxiety, worry, and confusion that come from the constant stream of news and social media can be overwhelming. There is a way to escape this never-ending cycle and find peace, hope, and joy in your daily life. Christianity.com, with a wide range of daily devotionals, biblical answers to life's toughest questions, and insightful Bible study articles from your favorite pastors and authors on current events and issues, Christianity.com provides a little heaven on earth. Go to Christianity.com now.
RedState.com captures the pulse of grassroots conservatism. Red State staff of contributors are on top of breaking news with stories and analysis that challenge the established agenda. RedState.com educates, motivates, and activates passionate conservatives across America, arming them with the facts that put them ahead of the political curve. No wonder RedState.com is a must-read for elected officials and for citizens who want to make their vote count. RedState.com is the place where influence meets action. Log on to RedState.com today.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews in Family Legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
The law group you know and trust, Nauman & Associates, is expanding into commercial litigation. When disputes can't be resolved, get the strategic guidance from a litigation lawyer who will fight for your rights. Attorney Richard Cannon brings both strong courtroom and dispute settlement skills. We believe most cases can be resolved without costly courtroom battles, but we prepare as if a trial is possible. When your company needs to stand its ground, contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village. For a consultation, visit nalawgroup.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Exactly who we need to talk to, exactly when we need to talk to him. You see, he's a combat veteran, decorated, but he's also a serial entrepreneur, a dynamic leader. He's host of the Rob Maness Show. He's author of the book, What You Can Do About It, Taking Real Action Against Corruption, Radicalism, and Moral Decay to Save America. Before MAGA, there was Maness, who ran for Senate in 2013 under an American First agenda. We're going to talk to Colonel Rob Maness after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, sunshine and 74 today. At least 36 have been shot, 7 fatally in shootings across Chicago over the weekend. Several local officials joined Deputy Mayor for Community Safety Emmanuel Andre this morning at City Hall. Meantime, President Trump reacted on social media to the weekend violence by going after Governor J.B. Pritzker. Vice President J.D. Vance leading peace talks with Iran in Switzerland. Here's reporter Nick Harper.
He has called the start of these discussions and what has been agreed to as a major milestone, saying that they have made a lot of progress and that they have laid a very good foundation.
Music mogul Clive Davis is dead at the age of 94. 2 died due to strong storms Sunday in southern Illinois and Jefferson County near the small town of Dix.
Oh my God! That is huge!
Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Residents there watching that tornado. Weather officials say the state has experienced at least 147 tornadoes. The news, a service of the AM 560 store. T-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages kicking off the new trading week mixed as big tech weighs on the NASDAQ and hyperscaler spending worries hit mega-cap tech companies. The Magnificent Seven big-cap tech stocks were mostly lower, led by Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta. However, shares of memory chip maker Micron Technology climbed over 6% ahead of its earnings release on Wednesday, which will be the next AI test. Oil prices fell with West Texas Intermediate crude settling at around $75 a barrel, its lowest level since early March. The Dow up 148 points, the Nasdaq lower by 351, S&P 500 down 28. Shares of Google parent Alphabet plunging 5% in the first trading session since John Jumper, a senior research scientist, said that he was leaving the company for AI startup Anthropic. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Feeling uncertain by life's challenges? Discover timeless truth and encouragement with In Touch Ministries, guiding you every step of the way. At intouch.org, you'll discover encouragement that lasts. With powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith, you'll find hope and wisdom for every season of your life. Don't wait. Visit intouch.org today and let God's Word inspire your journey. That's intouch.org.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
It's wide open on the outbound Edens, the outbound Kennedy, 45 minutes out to the airport, and the Eisenhower 1 hour post office to 390 with an accident at Route 83. Stevenson outbound, not too bad, 40 minutes to Saba Lakeshore Drive to 355, and the outbound Ryan, 25 minutes, Titan Express, 43rd to the Skyway. Heavy conditions along the Tri-State either way. Tri-State is the same with an accident northbound at 137, but the Jane Addams and the Reagan, both of those are still in decent shape. A few delays southbound 355 and heavy on I-80 eastbound, especially from Kedzie to the Tri-State. Southbound Route 53, heavy Palatine to Kirchhoff with road work. This report is a service of Fox Valley Coins. Currently buying all gold and silver bars and coins, silver dollars, rare date proof, and mint sets. Visit foxvalleycoins.com. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low temperature of 56. Moving into Tuesday, anticipate partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high reaching 74. As we head into Tuesday night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all guns. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
My next guest, I have had the pleasure of talking to before. And he is somebody who is a true Renaissance man. And when you go over his resume and who he is, he's what every father wants their son to be and every son wants their father to be. He is more than just somebody who's successful in business. He is successful in leadership. He is somebody who fights for the country in a political arena since 2013. He's really the architect and the guy who wrote the schematics on America First. But the main thing you have to understand is he is a retired U.S. Air Force colonel who has received 18 major awards and decorations, including the Legion of Merit twice and the Bronze Star for combat leadership. He is also host of the Rob Maness Show, author of the book, What You Can Do About It, Taking Real Action Against Corruption, Radicalism, and the Moral Decay to Save America. It's out now. Colonel Rob Maness, how are you?
Good, Shaun. How are you?
Still aggravated, brother, and I'll tell you why. These rat pigs and their fiefdoms, they're setting criminals free, whether they're Somalians or Democrats in Chicago. And when you look at what's happening in New York and Massachusetts, it's all the same. It's all the same. If the Democrats are in control of an area, it is a fiefdom for political mafia, and that's it. I think we have to just break apart the counties. Let's make either 150 states or separate or do something. I got to get away from these scumbags. What do you think?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. You know, the destruction of the judicial system and the legal system in this country will be the downfall. When you have one group of people that can get away with whatever crime they want, and the judiciary and the prosecution system lets them do it and turns them back out on the street, and you have another part of the population, the other 50%, that is held to the letter of the law and gets sentenced to prison for, in some cases, 20 years for something that's not even a ticket for the other side. That is destruction. And it's destruction of our system, and it's unconscionable that we are allowing it to continue.
Well, it's a banana republic. And, you know, instinctively, when you grow up in these fiefdoms, like my own. By the way, everybody knew that it was a mafia town. Everybody knew they stole the election for Kennedy. Everybody knew the elections are, you know, it's the kind of thing now where they're completely out of the closet. Just to give you an example, and you should remember this. I know you're in another state, but this is how obvious and crooked it is. There is a ghetto hospital named Loretto where, believe me, kid, if you're injured, you'd rather grunt it out in the parking lot than go in and let these doctors touch you. And they used this hospital during COVID to steal $1 billion, $1 billion in COVID money, testing and all that bull dung. They finally had two of them that the investigation started years ago. Now a judge throws out the government's case, and the two doctors walk, and there's a CEO of the hospital for another $300 million that he's gonna walk, because the federal prosecutors are the same prosecutors that were in on the paid-for protesters in Broadview, Illinois. It's a ghetto town, where they said that they did something with the grand jury. They misled the grand jury. So now, completely mutually exclusive case. Because they're the same prosecutors, the judge, crooked Democrat judge, threw the case out. So when you have the absence of law, and in Minnesota, when you see that the judges there are overturning jury convictions, then they're giving them months. They got pictures with Tim Walz. Now a federal judge today says the Trump DOJ cannot move forward with a subpoena on Tim Walz or Ellis or Omar. I mean, at this point, we're not a banana republic anymore. We're a Democrat mafia nation.
I have to agree with you. You know, what's even worse, though, Shaun, is I know of a case where a doctor has been accused of Medicare fraud in an unrighteous way. It was carried through by the Biden DOJ anyway, and the judge even said that he was not guilty in his opinion, but still held up the conviction on the guy. That's in another state, but that's the type of difference that we have. That's why I guess you're right, man. It's a mafia. It's like a mafia run.
I actually had that
country.
guy on my show.
Yeah.
I actually had that guy on my show.
Ron Elfenbein.
Yeah,
Dr. Ron.
I had him on my show. And you know, this was something when we were living through it. Between the censorship or the outright intimidation by government and this nonsense of an insurrection. You know, I say on my show to this day, that was not an insurrection. Number one, I wasn't there. But number two, it was not an insurrection in the way in which it was organized, like the protests for that drug addict. By the way, he's clean 6 years now, George Floyd. That was an insurrection. These are insurrections that you see now. The fact that that right now you not only have paid for protesters, you got Antifa that are doing everything from vandalism to tainting the pool to disrupting the political climate. So my answer, what I can come to, is secession. I believe it's in the Constitution, and if we're not going to be a complete banana republic, either we're united by principles or we're extorted by tyranny. Which one is it? Tell me what it is, because you don't share my principles in these Democrat areas. Not a one of them. Not one municipality does.
Yeah, and because of that, the constitutional compact at the federal level, well, actually, it applies to all levels, really. The constitutional compact that the states entered into is really null and void if one side doesn't have to live by the laws that it represents. It's crazy, and you're right. Secession is legal in the Constitution. It lays out how you can do it and who has to approve it and those kind of things. But that may be our only choice. But I tell you what, the Republicans are no better. I mean, the Save America Act could go a long ways towards getting some of this confidence in the law of the land back inside the guardrails, and you got Republicans that refuse to pass it. It's crazy.
Well, we still pretend, and when I say we, anybody, I don't, and I don't know anybody in my sphere, my little circle that does. But how about this crook Mitch McConnell, who looks like the Jiminy Cricket staring into a light bulb? He's freezing. He's soiling himself in his trousers, and they're asking him questions. He's 1,000 years old. What, am I married to this fracking guy? How did this country turn into this? It's not only a Geritol, Washington. Listen, Mitch McConnell, when he could form a sentence, was as crooked as Grand Avenue. His name is on every building in Kentucky. The Chinese wife, the heiress to the shipping thing. There is no difference anymore. You know, how could you say there is? There's no difference between Republican and Democrat versus a tailor. They just got better clothes. That's all it is. Mitch McConnell looks very handsome with the Brill cream. You're a scumbag too. I can't get over it. I can't get over what we're living through.
Yeah, and when a regular person steps up to try to run for office, like I did when I ran against Bill Cassidy and Mary Landrieu in my first U.S. Senate race, the powerful who are already in those offices, like Mitch McConnell, and I'll name him, he raised and spent millions to keep me out of office, and went for the Democrat donor of Mary Landrieu, Bill Cassidy. Unfortunately, Louisiana got rid of him a few months ago, but. That is the problem in this country, is that the regular people see it. We know it's there, and we're working hard to take action, but especially on the side that we're on, the non-Democrat crazy side, our billionaires don't step up like their billionaires do. Folks think that they can win one battle and then they can dust their hands off and go home, like getting Trump elected a second time in a historic election, by the way, with a huge mandate that Republican senators and congressional people refuse to enact. It's amazing what happens, but we've got to figure out how to not only organize ourselves permanently, but fund ourselves and then take the right actions consistently over and over again in order to have any chance at all of trying to fight this thing and put our country back into its constitutional guardrails that was originally designed to do it. It's not impossible to do, but we're going to run out of time eventually. I mean, the national debt just went over the GDP amount a couple of days ago.
Well,
that's a national emergency.
Well, what's fascinating too is to see how it has exploded since Barack Obama, who is an enigma. When you look at who Barack Obama is and the idea he pretends he's from Chicago, he just came here because we're the communist mafia capital of America. But when you look at Barack Obama and the floodgates that open up, and if you could have seen, I'm glad you didn't, because it was painful to watch the celebration of this failed fraud, Barack Obama, as he opens up this Godzilla's butt plug. I don't know if you ever saw the library. It's embarrassing and humiliating. And he, by the way, he stiffed all the contractors like a Chicago Democrat does. They don't pay for anything. So when you look at how he celebrated and you look at Bush, the one that can almost form a sentence, the idiot who was president, you look at how they're now they love Bush too. It reminds me of Mitt Romney when he ran. And when you look at what Mitt Romney was and what he did where he was ever elected from Massachusetts to Utah, you look at his true legacy, it's a scandal. But when you look at these four who made certain that Democrats can steal elections in perpetuity, I don't know if I'm more offended than anybody over this Lisa Murkowski. She's a second-generation fraud. Her father was a scam artist, and he handed down the office like he was a Chicago Democrat. So we don't clean our own house. To a certain extent, we're hoisted by our own petard because we allow these scoundrels to pretend to be Republicans, which is why I think you need to end the Republican Party. There's no cleaning it now.
Well, I'm of the opinion that both political parties should be ended because you can't. Both of them are unworkable at this point. Look, I mean, you mentioned Murkowski, ranked choice voting. What an abomination to a Republican representative form of government. And now they're spreading it across the country. The D.C. District of Columbia government is now using ranked choice voting. They're still counting on the mayor's race over there. And the
steal through boredom.
The communist is leading. Don't believe the words Democrat, socialist. They're communists. The communists are leading, and that's what's happening around this country. And ranked choice voting is one of the things, thanks to Lisa Murkowski and her dad.
Ranked choice voting is stealing through boredom. They just wear you. Who gives a rip? Who's paying attention after 72 hours? It's America. We got things to do. But when you look at this,
there you go.
And I'm curious to know, because ultimately, listen, there's 50% of this country that goes to work every day and busts their ass, right? And it's always the producers versus the parasites. And 50% of the country that goes to work and busts its ass, they may not pay attention. And the goal from the Chicago Sololinsky Mafia Democrats posing as communists or socialists is to steal it through infiltration, right? To steal the country through infiltration and normalizing the defeatism of gangster government like they did to my fellow Chicagoans, where you just think it's normal now to live low.
Right.
And I think that ultimately when these people start to see what's happening, because you only have 11 states that make up 70% of this country's GDP. So there's only 11 states. So the rest of them are welfare states. California, it may not want you to know this, but it exists on being reimbursed from the federal government through Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, their green energy grants. It's a front. It's a fraud. So just like Illinois and New York, and that's driving up the debt. And Barack Obama and the Democrats crafted the system that way. And Obamacare is a huge, huge part of it. So they break the rules and they allow illegal aliens to pile on. They get better health care than Americans. Ultimately, this is going to come to a dead end. And I'm curious to know how you see it when a couple of guys who've been working their ass off wake up one day and say, what do you mean it's going to be like COVID was for 5 years? I can't say what I want to say. I can't do what I want to do. And I can't keep my money. See, Trump is a blessing. There's no question about it. But ultimately, he may be the Novocaine if they can steal another election, because now we're relaxed. Now we've got the big, beautiful bill. Half of the government that he's changed with executive orders. So that means it could unchange. What do you see happening when they could, after they elected somebody with dementia, they could do it again. They could get a 9-finger Rahm Emanuel in. What do you think happens if, God forbid, 1,000 times a Democrat steals the next election? What do you think happens?
Well, they're gonna. What happens inside that administration is they're going to go after what Biden went after. He followed Obama. What Biden did is going to be on steroids, and it's not going to be 5 years. It's going to be an attempt to make it permanent that you're censored, that you're oppressed, that you don't get to keep your money. And when that happens, if that happens, the men and women that believe in things like the Second Amendment and those kind of things, they're going to put a stop to it, one way or the other. We still have time. We have opportunity to put this thing back inside the guardrails. But at some point, regular Americans are going to wake up and go, this is not the deal that I made. And they're going to say, we demand the American deal back, and whoever's in charge of the government is going to fight it.
Yes, and what's interesting is to see how many Americans have gone to much better states. I think there's going to be a real uprising, and it's going to come through state legislatures that are going to really start to stand up for their citizens, because so many did not during COVID, but the ones that did are the ones that are thriving now. I see a greater division. I moved from one to the other, and I'm telling you, the quality of life, but moreover, the intellect of the citizen is incredibly more patriotic, more about American liberty, about their own property. If you look at the difference between Floridians and Illinoisans, I mean, it's night and day. So I think the worst is yet to come for the divide in the nation.
Oh, I think you're right. And I have said this for a very long time, that the real war is in the state legislatures. I live in Mississippi, and we had a lot of people move here during the COVID stuff. And you're right about all the things you just mentioned. The folks are much more engaged. They're studying things, but we're still at risk. we're still at risk. Democrats are trying to take Georgia. They've tried to take my town that I live here in Gulfport. They tried to take the mayor's race because the Republican in the last governor's race lost here in Gulfport, and they thought they had an opening. But we defeated them because we're engaged and we're watching this, and we're demanding that we elect people that will fight for us first at the local and state level. And that's what needs to happen. And that's why the fight is right there. I mean, all the COVID stuff that came down from the federal government and all that after the 2 weeks to slow the spread deal, all of that was enacted by the state levels. And the more you can eradicate that from your state government, the better off you are if the wheel turns and something like a Democrat, a fake Democrat gets elected one more time.
The tell, when you play cards all your life, you start to pick up on what a tell is. And to me, the tell of gangster acceptance and low Democrat mafia living is, I have yet to hear an elected Democrat or moreover, an unelected Democrat be outraged at the money that was stolen from the country during COVID. Have you ever heard a Democrat outraged at that money? Have you ever heard a Democrat say, I want my money back? I mean, it's amazing to look at the lack of character, the lack of integrity, the lack of any sense of patriotism. This is what we're really combating. We are combating the mindset of not just a slave like a Chicago Democrat, but the mindset of a Soviet. They are Soviets. And that to me is you can't coexist with this. When you have country or states in a country that has been robbed, and these states in total don't care. Minnesota Democrats do not care about the $12 billion. They don't care. And we either need to recognize that and set ourselves up to separate, or I don't know how you exist with it. I don't know how you live with a thief.
Yeah, at some point, smart people are going to come together and they're going to say enough. Where that line is difficult to predict, but it will happen.
Well, the good news is I got you on my side, and you've been in the muck pretty soon. You just probably didn't think you were going to have to do it in your own country, but it's really turned into some third world. I got my eye on that barbecue down in Haiti. I don't know. I think I'm kind of rooting for him. Maybe I'm going to have to change my name to Barbecue.
That's a good one.
Listen, I love the book, and the book is out now. Is that right?
It is out now. You can go to robmanus.com, or you can just type my name or the title in at amazon.com, and it'll come right up.
Now, tell me about this Rob Maness show. I want to know all about this Worldview Tube network. Where do I go to this?
You can find the Worldview Tube's streaming channel is on Rumble. You can find my show. It streams to their channel. It streams to all my social medias, X and Facebook and all that, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time. We on Mondays, we focus on war policy or the attempt to get to peace. Today's show was all about the peace agreement and how the talks went this weekend with J.D. Vance and those kind of things, and then whether it's going to have an impact on stopping the killing in Ukraine and those kind of things. And we have a wide variety of guests that range from General Mike Flynn to experts in whatever field that is. We cover culture, politics, this kind of stuff, national security, and intelligence work, and religion, you name it, we cover it.
So do you ever get yourself down to Southwest Florida or no?
Yes, I go to Southwest Florida on occasion.
All right, when the next time you're there, would you do me a favor and reach out? Because I want to take you for a steak at that Seed to Table by Elfie there. Did you ever go there?
No, I've never been
there. You will love it. You will love it. It's called Seed to Table. He started out as a farmer, and he has this incredible grocery store, and they prepare the food. I mean, it's fantastic. And he does a lot of stuff and did during COVID to really help fight for Americanism. And I want to have a conversation because I had one with my friend who, by the way, first time I met Charlie, we got in an argument. And we became very good friends at the end of the argument. I said, what the hell do you know? You're 7 feet tall. You look like you're in 7th grade. What the hell do you know about the economy? We started laughing, and we became friends. And I had him on my show when Trump was deciding who he was going to pick for a VP. And I liked Tulsi. I just did. I liked her. Maybe it was the gray streak in the hair from Young Frankenstein, but I loved her. And he liked J.D. Vance. And he goes, oh, no, J.D. I go, I don't know, man. I'm a little suspicious of him. I was suspicious of J.D. Vance. And now he kind of won me over. But this talk with Iran, I got to tell you something. I'm old enough to remember. My grandfather had an auto parts store, and when that imbecile Jimmy Carter, the people that went out of business, how Iran was really thrived, and they kidnapped our people, and what an idiot he was. I can't stand the 47-year war, how much money in terrorism, 47,000 attacks around the world since September 11th. I don't like Iran. I don't want to be friendly with these theocrats. Get rid of them all, cut them off with money, and I feel like they're selling me something. I don't like it. Am I missing something?
Yeah, what you're missing this time is that we're doing this time from the position of they're standing in a bunch of rubble. All right? Nobody's ever dealt with these terrorists, wherever you're thugs. I call them thugs. Look, I came in uniform in 1979. They've been trying to kill me
ever since you put it on.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. So, I don't trust them. And this is different. If it continues to be handled like what we're seeing so far, Iran either performs or they get nothing. And if they get nothing, or if they go outside of the lines, they get schwacked. And this president's proven that he's not going to put up with any BS from them.
I know,
now,
but
that's got to continue beyond this presidency.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, you lose.
I know,
and
but
then we just go home.
I look at it, you're talking to guys who are dressed like they were trying out for the movie The Chosen and didn't make it. They look like a bunch of bit actors from the 7th century. I mean, a night out on the town for them, the livestock start hearing bells. We don't have too much leverage over them the way they want us. It's not like they're like me and you and they want to get a steak at Seed the Table. But I'll take it. Listen, you're going to be my new Charlie. You can talk me off the ledge when I want to go nuts on them, so I appreciate it. So thank you, Colonel Rob Maness. I really appreciate it. The book, what you can do about it. It's out now. Check it out. You prefer they go anywhere to buy it, or is Amazon okay?
Go to robmaness.com. There's a bonus chapter on a separate page at robmaness.com, robmaness.com/bonus chapter. You can download that for free if you just give us your email address.
All right, I'll bring. I'll start out paying for the check, and if you order dessert, we're flipping for it. Deal?
All right, man.
I'll see you later. Thanks for making time.
Thanks, John.
We'll be back with your calls and comments.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show, where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Platform safety is critical at your commercial and industrial facility. Keeping people safe and meeting OSHA requirements isn't optional. That's why Vans Industrial offers free platform inspections by professional structural engineers who know exactly what to look for. Problems with platforms, ladders, or stairs can lead to costly fines or worse. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to protect people in your facility.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. With decades of experience, I bring long-standing industry knowledge from inspecting, correcting, and replacing countless platforms to make facilities safer. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor equipped to modify or replace steel catwalks, handrails, stairways, and ladders. Our union building trades professionals fabricate and install high-quality steel systems that create safer work environments.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free platform inspection by professional structural engineers. See what else we can do for you. Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
Steve Cortez sent me something. Got to figure this out. He's Southside Bob's house, the Pope. All right, we'll figure out what Steve sent me, and I'll take your calls. Dave, you'll be first. 312-642-5600. We'll take your calls and comments after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, we see clear skies and a low of 56 overnight. 36 were shot, 7 fatally in shootings across Chicago over the Father's Day weekend. Several local officials joined Deputy Mayor Emmanuel Andre this morning at City Hall. Meantime, President Trump reacted on social media to the weekend violence by going after Governor J.B. Pritzker. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is resigning after losing voter and party support.
I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
He will remain as caretaker until Labour chooses a new leader. Music mogul Clive Davis is dead at the age of 94, recently hospitalized with respiratory trouble. Elgin police investigating after a woman's body was pulled from the Fox River yesterday, just north of the Kimball Street Bridge. Southsiders take on Cleveland at home tonight. Cubs begin a road set against the Mets. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Your next news update comes your way at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now the latest from the AM 560 Traffic Center and Jill Urchak.
Here is a check of the roads. Kennedy outbound trip downtown to O'Hare, 45 minutes, and the outbound Eden, you're okay. On the Eisenhower, it's a 48-minute trip to get to 390 from the post office. Stevenson outbound 40, DuSable Lakeshore Drive out to 355, and the outbound Ryan is a 25-minute ride. Stop and go in those express lanes, 43rd out to the Skyway. Tied up on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, both north and south. Tri-State northbound busy either way with an accident at 137. Also, eastbound Jane Addams jammed River Road to Montrose, southbound 355 a bit snug, and northbound 53 from the Eisenhower to Kirchhoff busy with road work. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low of 56. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high of 74. Tomorrow night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Time now for a check of the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
The Costco in North Riverside is $3.55 a gallon. The Mobil on 158th and Tinley Park is $3.67 a gallon. And the Citgo on Eastwood Drive in Woodstock is $3.83 a gallon.
If you see a low gas price, text the word gas to 312-642-5600, followed by the price and location. And listen each weekday afternoon at 12:30 and 5:30 to hear the lowest gas prices in Chicagoland.
Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
This is Seth Leibson for townhall.com. As we celebrate our 250th anniversary as a nation, it is worth reflecting on what got us here and kept us going, living as we do under the longest-lasting Constitution in world history. From the Declaration of Independence to the Constitution, our country's framers set about establishing this most successful of political governing structures because they understood a few truths. Given low polling about American pride these days, they are truths about which we may need to ask, are they still self-evident? We began this experiment declaring a recognition of something higher than man, the laws of nature and nature's God, and a creator. endowing us with a right to self-government and a recognition that we human beings are all equal, especially in our inequality before God. Rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are not given or tolerated by government or man, but God. Our founding fathers all understood and enshrined this for us, but too many here have forgotten or unlearned this. Sadly, just now, we need a great relearning.
Raj Shah, host of Unleash Your Wealth.
You know, there are a lot of clients and people coming in from the radio into our office saying, I don't want to lose any money. I need to protect the money I have saved over the last 20 or 30 years, where you have strategies where you can structure an income stream where it has an inflation protection so that as inflation, if it continues to go up, your income will go up.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Have military collectibles? Turn that history into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dumped species from an animal reservoir into humans and now is spreading among humans. The mutations that it took to get to the point where it is now is totally consistent with a jump of a species from.
You're a liar. You're the Oppenheimer of the bioweapon COVID. You paid for it. You created it. And then you released it, didn't you? You had a little help, though, from a lot of Democrat scum.
The work of the Biden administration, Dr. Fauci, we already have millions of kids around the country who have gotten vaccinated.
Yeah. That explains all the mayhem and deaths and walking around in circles, slapping yourself in the face like Ruben. Dave in Libertyville.
Hey, Shaun, how are you?
Good. I didn't think I'd get a Ruben reference in there, but go ahead.
Sounds good about now.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about this. Between the politicians and the thieves, you know, there's not a lot left for us.
I guess that's the way to look at it.
Know,
yeah, I agree. Try to get a job. You know what you could do, Dave? Try to get a job on York Road in that construction company that has nobody working. I'm pretty sure they must be hiring ghost jobs.
Hey, some of those guys are pretty good. But anyhow, that's all I had to say.
All right. Well,
have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much. I mean, it's not just on York Road in Elk Grove Village. I noticed that the minute you jump into Illinois, when you're on the interstate, where's everybody working? See a lot of cones, a lot of equipment, a lot of dust, not a lot of work. Lombones. Sharon, Glendale Heights.
Yes, I read something in Newsmax that opened my eyes. You know, Shaun Caston lost a 17-year-old daughter due to fentanyl poisoning. And unfortunately, Shaun Caston's daughter's death was a boomerang that hit him right in the head because he voted in lockstep for all the control.
Is that what she died of? Are you sure? Because I remember when it happened. I didn't look at it.
That's what I had heard. The bottom line is this. When these politicians get hit directly themselves, and they've covered this up, okay? He has been keeping a low profile. Our sentiment out here, Shaun, is after you first, sir or madam, you suffer the consequences of that which you push politically that you expect your constituents to live under. And I know a gentleman whose son has lived in 3 different countries, and he said, no, we in America do not want to become them. But he said, from what I'm listening to, these judges had better watch their back. He said, the public has had enough. And there's going to be chaos, but it's going to be evidently.
Well, Sharon, the only civilized reaction is to get away from them.
I understand.
I mean that's the conclusion. You know, I don't know. I think I came to it 20 years ago. But you know, the other thing too, Sharon, when you talk about these fentanyl deaths under Biden, do you know that the count, if you add it up, you're about 600,000 Americans died of fentanyl under the Biden years. I mean, that's that's Civil War numbers.
Yes.
So,
And Caston's eldest daughter was one of them. And I'm going to tell you something. The fact that it boomeranged right in a Democrat politician.
Yeah, I can't stand him or his Stephen father, but I don't wish that on nobody. That is horrific. That is horrific.
It just happened to happen. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I mean, listen, you can't save somebody from themselves, Shaun. You just think you can. This is what you have to understand. Somebody who accepts the thievery, somebody who is a legitimate communist, you're done. There is no saving them from themselves. What we're supposed to have in this country is law. But in Democrat fiefdoms, you do not have it. If there are Democrats there that are, name one Democrat that's mad at the money that's been stolen from us. Can you find one? Find me one. It's certainly not Cory Booker.
Those opportunities to elect a new leader is in Maine. We have a competitive contest. Democrats just nominated Graham Plattner. Despite past offensive comments about a tattoo past offensive comments, he's got this tattoo that's associated with the Nazi symbol. He also said he didn't understand its meaning. He's covered it up. And he's also faced allegations from former girlfriends of abusive behavior.
Hey, dummy. He was and is a Nazi. A fracking Nazi, you stupid son of a dog. He didn't get a tattoo and say, you know what? I really like the way that gas mask looks on that skull. He knew, and everybody knew. The guy who drew the little skull and the face mask, he knew. Everybody knew, you stupid lying moron. And you're going to tell me that that's even remotely mentionable, let alone legitimate. The Democrats elect Nazis. End of story.
Which he denies. Do you think Graham Plattner has the character to serve in the United States Senate?
Well, this is what campaigns are for. He certainly has a lot of issues and a lot of questions, too.
Hey, sissy. Hey, side saddle sissy. You serve in the Senate. Barack Obama served in the Senate. Character? Don't even say, you don't even know what it is.
Answer and address. And I think the people of Maine are going to give a lot of examination to this going through in this election. For me, I certainly hope we pick up a seat here. For me and people of the state of New Jersey, dear God, we need to get the Senate back so we can start checking.
So we'll do it with a Nazi. You're the National Socialist. Anyway, you're the National Communist, the National Marxist. You're the Nazis. Rahm Emanuel, you're going to be the nominee for the Nazis?
I've worked on 5 national races, helping President Obama get elected, helping President Clinton get elected, and helping make Nancy Pelosi Speaker. And I'm 5 for 5. So
5 for 5, 5 for 5. Something about that Obama 2008, the signatures. I remember something being real sketchy way back when. I can't be the only one. Adam, Lake Bluff.
Shaun, thanks for taking my call. Hey, I got the Italian word of the day, and you'll never figure out what it is.
Is it guts on ghoul? Because I love that one.
Guts and ghoul, that's a good one, too. But right. Chelsea, if you say it quickly in Italian, it means multiple toilets, which is pretty appropriate.
It's pretty close to ass face, Adam. Pretty close, but I still think Pennsylvania Dutch has it. Ass face. Peter Barrington.
Yeah, Shaun, with that Obama library, it costs what, $850 million to build? Where did that money come from? And who's pocketing it? I know Obama, he's already got hundreds of millions of dollars. Who else? Is it some alderman or?
Baby, that money comes from you and me. That money is a front. That money is preposterous. I mean, the money comes from government policies that are funneled to NGOs and then end up in their library fund. They pretend it's campaign contributions, and the people who give the campaign contribution receive money to their NGOs or their charity or their foundation. Oh. That's a money laundering scheme, kid. That's how that works.
Yeah, and one more thing for you. Talking about York Road with 490 by O'Hare. Dude, I'm going to be married and have kids before that thing even gets finished built.
Oh, there's no question about
it. Dude, they only have those, like, the stilts put up, the cement stands. There's no
Peter,
road.
you're young, but when you were a baby, when your mommy and daddy used to give you a binky, they started a project. And it just got done right after you graduated college. You know what that project was? Jane Byrne. Look at that. That's
forever.
Some fracking stealing, baby.
It's like the California high-speed rail.
Yeah, there's some boats from some half-assed gangster who pretends to be a construction guy on Lake Michigan. It's called Catch Me If You Can. Right out in the open, they steal.
Administration, the Bush administration,
has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders.
Borders. You know, there's something about how he got elected. I don't like any of it. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit accessoneInc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's accessoneInc.com. Tech made personal locally.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-921-5252. That's 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
AM 560. The Answer.
You know, it's fascinating when you look back at the Enigma fraud married to that Bigfoot broad and his big library, Godzilla butt plug, North Korean guard tower. It's fascinating the more you look back at who he was. And I'll never forget, one of the first times, Squirrel, a friend of mine said, you know, we should get involved with this Jack Ryan candidate. And you saw the guy, he was an incredible human being, man. Wow. And you saw the scandal of the crooked, and I mean crooked, Democrat judge that opened up the sealed divorce records and the slander and the rest of it. I still never believed that many people were dumb enough to not know who Barack Obama was and how he even got in that position. And then you figure out he was all tied to those first word scumbags, those step and fetch morons, making his car payment. How you doing? Half-ass gangsters. Thought they were in with the struggle, so they got in on the whole thing with Bobby Rush and all the Democrats. And then they partnered with the Irish short in the pants mafia. But that still wasn't enough to get this idiot on the ballot, Squirrel.
The 2008 race, Democratic operatives in Indiana were convicted of faking signatures on the presidential petitions that put then Senator Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton on the ballot. So many signatures were phony that authorities said the president may not have actually had enough signatures to qualify for the primary ballot.
Details. Not one rat, moron, scumbag, low-life Democrat cares. They just wanted to get their beak wet. That's it. Just get your little beak wet. Is there something in it for me? I don't give a rip. Citizen, no citizen, signatures, no citizen, signatures. Win the election, steal the election. We're Democrats. We're thieves. Can I get a job on a road project where nobody shows?
So you didn't write that?
I did not.
You didn't cast a ballot?
I did not.
Did you vote?
No.
Did you fill out an absentee ballot?
Nope.
Did you fill out an absentee ballot application?
Nope, I didn't fill out any of those.
So your vote was a fraud.
It was.
In Kentucky, prosecutors said 20 public officials stole elections by buying votes, spending $400,000 to buy 8,000 votes over several elections.
Was it more or less than $2 in crack whores in California, Chicago, New York? Tom, Blue Island.
Hey, Shaun, Dittos, just wanted to back up your point about these ghost construction sites.
Abandoned.
We've had a couple. They're everywhere, where they got 2 lanes down to 1, and there ain't a dude working there. They're all over the south suburbs.
A lot of equipment, though. Pull that equipment on the side. Just leave it there.
I mean, they were doing it on the Eisenhower almost at dark the other night, and there ain't nothing going on the Eisenhower. And it reminded me of a couple of years ago. I was driving to Arizona, and as you were in Illinois, there was a road crew filling potholes, and I think there were 6 or 7 dudes. And as I crossed into Iowa, there was another road crew. There were 2 dudes, one guy driving the truck and one guy following the truck. 6 dudes less doing the exact same job.
Yeah, Tom, listen, man, I'll tell you the truth. When you would see on Route 83, and you see the state guys cut the grass on 83 in St. Charles. Squirrel, the grass was no bigger than the studio. They'd have 4 trucks out there, 3 lawnmowers, a bunch of guys standing around. Not one of them thinner than my attorney. 380 pounds of free legal advice. He was like Jane Fonda in that crew of state workers. How you doing? Don't worry about the pension. You guys are all in on the same scams. But I'll tell you what, never once appealed to me, Squirrel. You know why? I'd rather be broke with honesty and character than a Democrat. We'll be back.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
President Trump has triggered a $200 billion tech disruption, and Wall Street is asleep at the switch. This $200 billion investment in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence chips obsolete. Technology that will make today's AI data centers a thing of the past, like IBM's old mainframes. While most investors are focused on old-fashioned AI, there are 3 companies quietly building a $1 trillion triangle that could transform every tech sector on Earth. These 3 companies are gearing up to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Institutions like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are pouring more than $200 billion into this AI revolution. Investment guru George Gilder has been predicting tech revolutions for more than 40 years, including the iPhone, Netflix, and Amazon. Now he's got his finger on 3 companies whose technology will change tech forever. Log on to TrillionDollarTriangle.com to find out which 3 companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. TrillionDollarTriangle.com. That's TrillionDollarTriangle.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
So our sissy cousin known as Canada apparently has a province named Alberta that wants to join America. Why? You tired of your red costumes and your silly outfits? What's going on up there? You tired of socialism? We'll talk about that with the chief economist, doctor of economics. Someone who dresses awful schnazzy for an economist, but then again, he's wicked smart, pulling off the Van Dyke. E.J. Antoni from the Heritage will join us to discuss not just Canada's and our sissy cousin, but the American economy of success. From the market to private industry booming outside of Democrat areas. We'll discuss that and more with E.J. after Foxweiser.
To abide by the ceasefire. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump says there won't be any trouble as long as Iran sticks to the terms of the deal.
As long as they respect us, we're going to be fine. If they don't respect us, things wouldn't be good, but they have a lot of respect.
The president says Iran is supposed to use the money that has been released to buy U.S.-grown corn and wheat and not for its military. Vice President J.D. Vance is now on his way back from Switzerland, where he said the U.S. built a good foundation in its initial talks with Iran. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer again calling on the administration to brief Congress on the deal.
Are they embarrassed? Is it so vague that they told Iran one thing and will have to tell the world another?
Schumer questioned whether Iran will be able to continue its behavior. Another arrest in a plot to attack the White House UFC event.
Federal prosecutors say William Lee Spartacus Faulkner of Washington State is among at least 7 men charged with conspiracy to commit murder. The group accused of conspiring to carry out a mass casualty attack targeting government officials during the Ultimate Fighting Championship event held at the White House earlier this month. According to the Department of Justice, the foiled plot included acquiring tactical gear, guns, and ammunition to deploy snipers and drones armed with explosives. Investigators allege Faulkner was communicating with co-conspirators over Telegram, replying to one message where another defendant describes a plan for a bloodbath, saying the more drones, the better.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Federal officials say they believe the group was also discussing attacking the World Cup match in Kansas City on July 3rd. A gunman has killed a Montreal police officer at a Hilton hotel before officers returned fire, killing him. A bystander was also killed, but police say it's not yet clear who fired that shot. The motive for the shooting is still under investigation. America is listening to Fox News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Things are busy on the outbound Kennedy, 40 minutes to O'Hare. The outbound Edens, though, looks good. Eisenhower Post Office to 390, 45 minutes. Stevenson, it's a 40-minute trip to get to the Veterans Memorial Tollway from DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and the outbound Dan Ryan, 20 minutes. Tighten the Express, 43rd out to the Skyway. Skyway looks good. You will see delays along DuSable Lakeshore Drive either direction, and the Tri-State also busy either way too. Northbound side at 137, crew still on the scene of an accident. Jane Adams and Reagan are fine. Southbound 355, sluggish, and eastbound 80, very heavy. Kedzie to the Tri-State. This report is the service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low temperature of 56. Moving into Tuesday, anticipate partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high reaching 74. As we head into Tuesday night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith and bring hope into your everyday life. Whether you're searching for encouragement, biblical wisdom, or practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God's promises. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. The military taught me that every mission is different. You assess the situation, listen to your team, then execute a plan built around what's needed. Same with helping families sell their homes. Whether it's an inherited house, a parent needing senior living, or life's just taking you in a new direction, we don't show up with a one-size-fits-all answer. We start by listening. What's your timeline? What are you worried about? What would make this easier? Then we build a solution around your needs. No repairs or cleanout are necessary. You pick the timeline that works for you, keep your memories, and we handle everything else. Since 2007, our veteran-led team has earned hundreds of 5-star reviews by doing exactly that, listening first, and treating every family with respect. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. That's jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
We are going to Sizzler.
And when the band plays,
The market is through the roof. Businesses are opening. Industry is thriving. Money back on shore outside of Democrat-run areas. Now, Democrat-run areas, well, you're like Canada, and it sucks because socialism sucks. The government tyranny and extortion, even though you're used to it, it destroys the quality of life. Real estate selling at unprecedented losses in the Chicago Loop area and anywhere there's communism. Turns out it's exactly the opposite in the decent states. My next guest knows this all too well. It's the tale of two worlds, which is why he does a lot of thinking. And when you do a lot of thinking, got to buy your sport coats with those elbow pads because you're on your elbows. You can't figure out, why is everyone still a Democrat? Why are there so many morons in my country? E.J. Antonia, the people at Heritage, think about this all day long. And he does it and looks fantastic doing it. He's the Basil Rathbone of economics. E.J., how are you, sexy?
Shaun, every week I say the same thing, but it's true. You are too kind, sir. It's great to be back
with you. It's a good mental image of you sitting somewhere gnawing on a pipe without any tobacco in it. I like it. And have you been able to figure out why there's still anybody living in these Democrat fiefdoms?
Well, part of it is it's just hard to move, right? And it's not
when you got no money, it's real hard. Yeah.
Exactly, Shaun. And look, it's not just simply a matter of the initial expense of moving is difficult, although that's certainly true. But the other problem is, and we're kind of seeing this in the real estate market at large with the huge interest rate shock that we had under Biden, where we went from very low rates to very high rates. And now people who are locked into those 3% or lower mortgages, they essentially need to get really, really high prices for their homes so that they can then have a huge down payment and then not have to borrow so much at 7 or 8% at today's rates. Okay, so what's the parallel here? It's the fact that if you're trying to sell a home in a place like Illinois and you want to buy down in Florida or Texas, yes, it's true that the land is cheaper, right? So you can say, all right, on the one hand, you shouldn't have to sell your home for that much, right? But here's the problem. So many people are leaving places like Illinois and California and New York and other states we talk about a lot, right? So many folks are leaving that there's just not enough demand to sustain those prices. So that means that a lot of people are actually, if they were to sell and move, they would have to sell and basically have no equity or negative equity. In other words, even though, again, they're going to go to a place where housing is actually cheaper. And again, at first you would think they're going to sell a home at a high price and they're going to buy a new home at a low price. That's a win. The problem is there's just not the demand. And so that's the huge problem. There is such a flood of people leaving states like Illinois. They've been losing people year after year, every year for a decade now? That kind of hemorrhaging has reduced the demand for housing. And again, it's really hurting people when they go to sell. And it means a lot of folks actually can't leave, sadly, even though they would love to.
It's realized loss. It's not just realized gain that people fear. Realized loss is what people fear, which is why so few Chicagoans or Illinoisans want to even know about inflation adjustment when it comes to pricing of things. I mean, it's an ass kicking. I say this to you being involved in it. And even some stuff that I couldn't get rid of. It's an ass kicking. And when you look at what's going on in insurance in Illinois, my insurance in Florida went down 30%. 30% went down. In Illinois, you know what it went up? 30%. And the reason is it's dangerous to live among the ghetto. And I don't know if you've ever seen some of the weekend reports, but I called on Friday under over a 40. Now, there's some scattered calculations. One website has 42 shot. The other one has 38. One has 40. So let's call it a push. But that's socially acceptable. The teen takeovers, the damage to property, the cars, the mayhem, very expensive. So you either have to realize the loss and take a beating and pull up and make yourself uncomfortable to go to a better area, or what do? Hoping and a praying. And that's hope and change you didn't realize was coming, but that's all that Democrats deliver. When you look at the difference in Democrat-run areas versus non-Democrat, it isn't just 70% of income. It's the future productivity. I was just looking at some real estate information. Ritz-Carlton is opening up 6 projects in Florida. 6. You know how many they're opening up in Democrat states? Gats on Ghoul. So the destruction, the quality of life, flight to quality is real, and it's undeniable now. So you've got illegal aliens, gangbangers, murder and mayhem, and Democrats. Isn't the new play for the Democrat Party and Rahm Emanuel, who's lobbying to run, vote for me, I dare you? Do you think he'll put that on the campaign poster?
Maybe not explicitly.
Yes. I mean, that's the reality.
It might be what's implied. Yeah, and, again, Shaun, we shouldn't be surprised by any of these numbers, right? If you look at the difference in the tax burden between red states and blue states, Illinois is a great example. What do they have? The second highest corporate income tax rate?
Yes.
And you may think...
And the number one property tax. Number one we are.
Exactly. So you may not think the personal income tax is too terrible, with it being a relatively low rate, a flat rate, right? But as you brightly pointed out, the property taxes are the worst in the country. They're absolutely crushing people. The sales tax rate is nothing to write home about. And all of this is on top of the regulatory burden. And Illinois is one of the worst in the country. Not the worst. California takes that cake, but it's one of the worst. And so this is why, if you look at how has Illinois performed, I mean, Chicago used to be the capital of the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
And how has Illinois performed? Well, they've really lagged behind other economies. Again, you look at some of these red states, and it's not just the big ones like Texas and Florida that we talk about a lot, but even some of the smaller red states like Idaho. You know, they have seen some of the fastest job growth since the pandemic. And more importantly, it's all been the productive private sector where that job growth is up double digits. Again, this is only 6 years ago. We're not going back that far. February of 2020 to today. Conversely, what has happened to Illinois job growth? Well, overall, if you look at the total number of non-farm payrolls in Illinois today versus February 2020, right before the pandemic, the number is basically flat. But if you take out government payrolls, so let's just look at private non-farm payrolls, Shaun, the number has actually gone down since before the pandemic. In other words, the state, everybody lost tons of jobs initially in 2020, right? Because of the pandemic, and it became illegal to go to work.
Fascism.
That happened.
It'll cost jobs.
That happened everywhere. But Illinois, the important point here, Shaun, is Illinois still hasn't recovered. They have never gotten back to the number of private sector jobs that they had before the pandemic started. I mean, that is just absolutely shocking. And then we sit back here and we wonder, gee, why are people leaving the state? Why don't people want to live there? They can't get a job. You can be on welfare and do just fine. You can be a government employee, I guess, and be fine. You get that great pension. How they're going to fund it, I don't know. But one thing you can't do is have a thriving private sector, and they sure as heck don't.
Well, you fund it by stealing from everybody else. And by the way, what they did is they had a couple of gangsters pose as lawyers, and they ran it to the Supreme Court, and somehow they were able to write a law that you can take another man's entire net worth and tax him into poverty in order to pay government workers' pensions. So that's another reason you better get the frack out of here. And you know what's fascinating when you step back and you look at this, and I have. Because I was, people, sometimes a rumor becomes a fact if you listen to it long enough and don't look it up and don't do your homework. But there was always this thing, oh, well, not everybody who's moving to Florida is going to vote Republican. Well, perhaps, but it's very difficult to be a suck-on in Florida. It's very arduous to be a suck-on in Florida. They have a very high bar of testing. No illegals for anything in Florida, thanks to Ron DeSantis. You're not getting on Medicaid. You're not getting on Medicare. You're not getting on Obamacare. You're not getting on SNAP. In fact, they have kicked more people off SNAP. They're the number one state for removing people off food stamps, Section 8 housing. So it's very difficult to be a parasite in Florida. And when you also look at the other states, the 11 boom belt states, they're all, and it's a shame I even have to say it, but it's called right to work. But what that means is they are not under the La Cosa Nostra labor extortion mafia control that got Joe Biden elected in 72, Barack Obama elected in Illinois. They're not union organized mafia states. So I am very optimistic on the future of the decent states as the Democrat states do what the only thing they can do, go bankrupt.
Yeah, and speaking of bankrupt, my goodness, it's frankly fraud. I would say that the ratings agencies who are worthless have increased Illinois' rating on its debt.
Well, who owns it? The Carlyle Group, bunch of Illinoisans, bunch of Chicagoans. The alderman, the trust fund baby of the Carlyle Group founder is an alderman in Chicago. This is the dirty little secret. You and I know about it. The mortgage companies, the hedge funds own the rating agencies. They can whistle whatever they want. Half of their moron imbecile cousins with a cork on their fork at Thanksgiving work there. What are you going to do? I work at the rating agency. Look at all these half-ass gangsters and their moron kids and nephews. They all work at Mesro. Look at these imbeciles in Chicago. That's the plane. That's the platform.
Yeah, absolutely, Shaun. The ratings agency racket, well, it's just that. It is a racket, and it has been for many, many years. These are the same people that said all of that subprime mortgage debt was rated AAA, right? And what's really astonishing is that when you look across the spectrum of all the different 50 states and you look at the huge disparity in their financial situations, going far beyond just pension debt, although for a state like Illinois, that's a huge problem. But looking at how much money the state has to take out of people's incomes, the gross state product, in order to fund itself. Look at total debt loads, future expenditures, the whole 9 yards, right? You do a real thorough job of examining state by state. What you find is that the fiscal outlook is literally 2 or 3 times worse in the worst states compared to the best states, and yet they all have virtually the same rating. Almost all of them just get a blanket AAA rating. You do have a few states like Illinois.
It's like Hillary
that
Clinton
don't.
judging a beauty contest. Well, her ass isn't bigger than mine. She's a 10. Don't laugh at that.
All right,
Don't
you
laugh
said
at
it.
that.
You said it.
Yeah,
not
that was
me.
all me. You know what's preposterous to take into account, and you need this perspective. At the same time that these fraud institutions that pretend to invest and manage pension money, at the same time, the market has never in the history of this country been stronger or grown at such a pace. When you look at what the market has done in the last year and a half, and that's what I love. The undeniable fact that these money bundlers for the mafia controlling these pensions, they don't even invest the money. They just steal it, knowing full well that return on investment is not in the equation. It doesn't matter what the frack they do with it. They could do whatever they want. They could light it on fire, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what are we up this year for, or not, I shouldn't say this year, I should say from a year ago, right? The last 12 months, I think we're up over 20% now
parabolic.
on the Dow Jones. I mean, you're right, the market's been on an absolute tear. A lot of this, I think, goes back to the big unsung hero of this administration, the deregulatory agenda. Shaun, do you realize they've cut over 120 rules for every new one they've imposed? I mean, you want to talk about getting rid of bureaucratic red tape. This administration has outdone even the first Trump administration, and that's saying something because they posted a new record back then for their deregulatory agenda. It was the best since Reagan. In fact, they were the first that was the first presidential administration since Reagan to actually have a net reduction in overall regulatory burden. So again, huge kudos to the Trump administration there. And then also, obviously, the tax cut is definitely having a big effect, particularly full expensing. That is such a huge win for businesses, and it's telling people to build here, to invest here. And
how about in your second home? Your second home,
Yeah,
you get the
exactly.
benefits of all the write-offs and all of the things that prevented people from ever gaining any actual personal wealth. Between the big, beautiful bill, Chevron doctrine, and that fraud scum EPA swindle that Barack Obama put in motion when everyone was distracted at deciding is his wife a man or a woman, it turns out that all of what Trump has reversed has really, I'm beyond bullish, and he will go down in 100 years from now as the greatest president economically this country has ever seen. And all he really did was reverse everything the moron scumbag Democrats did since Barack Obama, which is the beauty. It's exactly what we needed. And he unleashes the American businessman, the true honest one, instead of what makes money in the Democrat fiefdoms, the crooked corporatist, kickback artist. And it doesn't have to be a Somalian pirate. It can be a phony road company in Chirac. So he's really changed things for the better, but only in the good areas, as it should be. I'm tired of dragging around these parasites through their government industries that never exist and pretending that everything's normal. And when you look at Biden and you see the money that was stolen by not just Somalians, but anybody doing anything for the government, whether it was health care, whether it was EPA bulldung, or construction for the government, that's who made money for the last 4.5 years. Government corporatist suck-ons, and I love to see it over.
Shaun, it's remarkably similar, I think, to what you saw during basically the entirety of the Roosevelt administration. We're talking FDR, not Teddy, compared to the post-war prosperity. The Keynesians said that, the war and, all the government spending there, that's what got us out of the Depression. No, it didn't. If you look at what the private sector was actually able to buy, if you look at what consumers were able to buy and private industry, that didn't go up during World War II. It went down. In other words, things continued to get worse. The Great Depression doesn't magically end at the end of 1941. It doesn't end until 1945, 46. Consumers' living standards were still going down. And so what was the secret to that post-war prosperity? It was exactly the opposite of what the Keynesian said. The Keynesian said, if you stop all this government spending, it'll collapse the economy, et cetera. And what did they do? Well, exactly what the Keynesian said not to do. They got rid of all that government spending. They let the private sector thrive. And that's really the secret that you're articulating, I think, and that Trump is doing right now. Well, all you have to do for the private sector to thrive is get the heck out of the way.
I will never forget a friend of mine explaining the economy, and we were talking about something that, like you used to hear, the rumor versus the fact of what an economy was. And I will never forget it when he said it to me. What if everything you heard wasn't the truth, was a mischaracterization? And when I heard Trump talk about Herbert Hoover, first time in my adult life, anybody in any real position of power understood exactly what he did. So I want to play it for everybody so they know what we're talking about.
But the one I always thought of, Herbert Hoover, and he caused it. He raised taxes too fast, and he raised interest rates too fast, all at the same time. And it caused the Great Depression. So I don't think I'll make mistakes like that. I
don't think so either. He's lowering it. He's giving it taxes. But here's the problem. For generations now, people have been told that fraud entity called the Federal Reserve is somehow in the mystical control of inflation or the economy, and they raise rates when they want to slow it down, and they lower them when they want to speed it up. That's all bull dung. And Trump is exactly right. And the fact that he wants to do the opposite but can't, and it isn't even because of the Federal Reserve. They get their marching orders from the International Bank of Settlements, and that's it, or the International Settlement Bank, whatever the frack they call that Rothschild entity that really controls the interest rates. And now that we're somewhat separated, if they lower the rates and you lower the taxes and you see the reprivatization and the ability for entrepreneurs to get money and be able to afford the debt on it, you could really light this thing on fire. I just want to know if you think this guy's going to do it, because he's talked about Greenspan. Greenspan talked a good game, but when push came to shove, he did what exactly the Federal Reserve said it was going to do, and I don't think he did it successfully, even though he died yesterday. The truth is, he was a better salesman for the sizzle that they said he had than the steak he really was. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Greenspan was definitely a mixed bag, although I do think it's appropriate. He was 100 years old, so you can say he died at par.
Nicely done. And for you, Andrea Mitchell's now available if you want to swoop right in there. But go ahead.
Oh, heck no. But I do look, I do think that Warsh has a really good head on his shoulders. I've actually had the pleasure of sitting down with him a couple of times now over dinner and doing deep dives on monetary policy. And I think he's going to take the good and leave the bad when it comes to somebody like Greenspan. I think Warsh understands that, the Fed has become, really, ever since the global financial crisis, and even before then, a massive engine of inequality. It is transferring wealth from Wall Street to Main Street. The growing of the balance sheet, that just has been an absolute disaster. It has given us inflation. It has helped support this leviathan of government, et cetera. And again, I think Warsh really understands all this, and he's going to take steps to reverse it. And I think we should be less focused, Shaun, on things like what is the Fed doing with interest rates. I think we should pay more attention to what are they doing with the balance sheet?
Yeah.
What are they doing in terms of how they're actually trying to measure the economy? What are they doing with the so-called researchers at the Fed who are writing papers on climate change and gender inequality? Are you kidding me? That's what our central bank is doing right now. So again, all of those things that his task forces are going to be focused on, those are the things that I really want to pay attention to, because I think that's where the Fed's going to make the most important changes under Warsh.
Well, I will say this too: if he even, it was floated a while ago, and I think you can still do it because it's a financial crime monetizing debt in the first place. But if he does what Trump talked about long time ago and should have done, which is if the government faked the buyer on the bonds, my offer to you is this: nothing. And now it's zero on all monetized debt of interest of what the people have to pay back. you will light this puppy up, man. And because nobody can explain to me where that debt goes anyway. Nobody. They are stealing from the American people after frauding a buyer. And Warsh knows that. Trump knows that. Bessent knows that. Everybody knows that. So even Greenspan knew that. And by the way, if I see a picture of you next Thursday in Alan Greenspan's smoking jacket, you better have pants on. You better have pants on.
Hey, all my photographs are from the waist up.
I noticed. All right, I'm just telling you, don't be rocking Andrea Mitchell's world. Give her a week. But I love the fact that at least now we can talk about the reality of what nobody wanted to talk about. For a decade, if not longer, this Federal Reserve has cooked a buyer up that didn't exist, and somebody's making money on the interest, and all they have to do to change everything with inflation and the financial stability of this country is say there's zero interest on it now. We'll pay it back, but there's zero interest on it.
And Shaun, for a select amount of government bonds, I mean, they basically do that, but with extra steps, because historically, when the Fed earned interest, quote unquote, by the Treasury paying them, as long as the Fed cleared all of its operating expenses, it had to just turn that money back over to the Treasury in what they call Fed remittances.
Yeah.
So again, you're trying to do the same thing, but with extra steps here.
You don't need the extra steps. And one thing Powell showed you, a lot of slippage when the people aren't looking over your shoulder. A lot of slippage. We'll do the project. It'll be $700 million. Now it's $2 billion. Where's the money? Where's the money? Bunch of jerks. And I cleaned that up. I was going to swear right there, but I don't want to swear. I don't want to get you in trouble. I already got you in trouble. And I love the fact you always make time for me, my friend. So I love you very much. Thank you for always making time. Everybody loves you.
My pleasure, Shaun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll talk to you next week. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-550-7800. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-550-7800. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-550-7800.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Town Hall News, where conservative voices cut through the noise from breaking headlines to fearless opinion. We report what matters without apology. Written by people who actually believe what you believe. Town Hall tells the stories the corporate press buries, from President Trump to Capitol Hill. From pivotal elections to your everyday lives. Join the movement at townhall.com. Real stories, real reporters, real conservative media.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi,
I'm Tony Patrick, CEO of Total Wall and a client of Signature Bank. We produce high-performance materials used in exterior insulating finish systems and other stucco applications. Every growing business needs a strong team behind it. Over the years, Signature Bank has been more than a financial partner. They've shared their knowledge, offered guidance, and connected us with trusted professionals who help strengthen our business. They're a valuable extension of our team and a true partner. That's why I value my relationship with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, this is Kevin Coyne, Chairman of the DuPage County GOP, inviting you to join us for our second annual summer kickoff and celebration of America's 250th birthday. Our event will be in Addison at American Tap on June 24th. Doors will open at 6:30 p.m. We will hear from our new Illinois GOP Chairman, Bob Grogan, State Senator Seth Lewis, and State Representative Jennifer St. Olitro. We'll also have a special appearance from former Cubs pitching great Steve Trout. Tickets are $75 and can be purchased in advance at our website, DuPageGOP.com. Paid for by DuPage County Republican Central Committee.
You know, it's interesting. I don't know if you were watching WGN yesterday, but you could have seen Tom Fortino's handsome face in the suit. Don't be distracted by those movie star good looks. Not since Anthony Quinn played Zorba has a Greek look so good on TV. It's 30 years of financial success of making other people money and structuring your retirement so your kids get the money. There right now are Vanguard trusts that are returning 20%. Are you nuts? Imagine if you had the intellect and the financial understanding of Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group. They could not only navigate all of this economy and the reprivatization and the boom of an American ingenuity hitting the private sector as you remove and back out the corruptonomics of the dimwit and Obama with the entire swindle of the healthcare. Wait till that gets ripped out. Then you'll really see things fly. Not to mention if the Federal Reserve is forced to do the right thing and not only stop monetizing debt, but we stop paying interest. The market today will double, and you're going to want to be in on it. Now, your risk tolerance may be different than mine, which is let it ride, bet. You might want to be a little bit more calm. Take advantage of a Vanguard. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have not only been helping people for 30 years make money, they've been helping it pass it to their kids. All you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711 or online, alphawealthgroup.com. And you tell him he looked just like Anthony Quinn and Zorba, only more fashionable. This way he'll really take care of you. Go to alphawealthgroup.com or call 630-864-6711. Don't forget Saturday mornings right here on AM 560, The Answer at 9 a.m., the Alpha Wealth Group Hour. You can hear a financial conversation that you should pay for, but it'll pay you if you just tune in. When we get back, 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. Expect clear skies with a low of 56 overnight. 36 were shot, 7 fatally in shootings across the Father's Day weekend in Chicago. Several local officials joined Deputy Mayor for Community Safety Emmanuel Andre this morning for consultations at City Hall. Vice President J.D. Vance at a Swiss resort where talks are being held to arrange a peace deal with Iran.
He has called the start of these discussions and what has been agreed to as a major milestone, saying that they have made a lot of progress and that they have laid a very good foundation.
It comes amid more uncertainty over the strait. 2 have died due to strong storms Sunday in southern Illinois in Jefferson County. Illinois setting a record for tornadoes in 1 year, 147 so far in 2026. Southsiders take on Cleveland at home tonight. Cubs begin a road set against the Mets. The news, a service of Bank of America, sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals locally and globally. More at bankofamerica.com/gamechangers. Your next news update comes your way at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now the latest on the roads with Jill Urchak.
On the Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 33 minutes. Outbound Eden, still clear. Eisenhower, Post Office to 390. That's a 40-minute trip. And the Stevenson, 30 minutes. DuSable Lakeshore Drive out to 355. There is an accident reported southbound I-55 at Weber. Outbound Dan Ryan only 18 minutes. Skyway looks good. DuSable Lakeshore Drive remains heavy either way. Tri-State scattered delays both directions, but southbound at LaGrange, there's an accident blocking 2 of the left lanes. On the Jane Addams and the Reagan, you're good to go on that. 53 northbound is jammed from the Eisenhower to Kirchhoff. This report is a service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Proft University and the Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect a clear sky with a low of 56. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring partly sunny skies and pleasant conditions with a high of 74. Tomorrow night, skies will be partly cloudy with a low of 61. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Every morning, students and faculty fill your school's hallways. And every morning, parents trust you to know who's there with them. With ID Supply, that trust is earned and visible. From student and staff ID cards to secure visitor badge systems, ID Supply helps you instantly identify who belongs on campus at a glance, while keeping your entire facility safer. Visitor badges expire automatically, so no one stays longer than they should. And parents, they can feel confident knowing their school has a system in place. Need supplies? We've got you covered. ID card printers, ribbons, and custom lanyards in your school colors. Most orders ship same day. Parents, if your child's school doesn't have a visitor ID system, ask them about ID Supply, because knowing who's on campus shouldn't be a question. Get 10% off your first order with code SCHOOL10. That's SCHOOL10. Visit idsupply.com or call 800-647-5562. Again, that's 800-647-5562. ID Supply. Trusted by schools for over 20 years.
This is attorney Robert Nauman of Nauman & Associates. Thank you, 560 listeners, for your continual phone calls to request our service in your estate planning matters. To share an example, a couple met with our team about an adult child that will need assistance after they both pass away. We created a trust with provisions that will protect that adult child and the rest of the family for years after they're gone. Give us a call when you're facing special circumstances with adult children. We'd love to help you protect your estate and your family. NALawGroup.com or 847-593-8777.
This 4th of July, celebrate America the right way. Fire up the grill, invite the family over, launch the fireworks, and proudly display a handcrafted wooden American flag from UniqueWoodenFlags.com. These stunning hand-finished wooden flags are built with real craftsmanship and patriotic pride. Whether you want a classic American flag, military tribute flag, America First design, or a beautiful flag cross that celebrates both faith and freedom, they've got something for every proud American. Perfect for your home, office, man cave, lake house, garage, or as a meaningful gift for veterans, first responders, and patriots who still love this country. This Independence Day, don't just wave the flag, display it with pride. Visit UniqueWoodenFlags.com today. That's UniqueWoodenFlags.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Old phonographs or music boxes? We are the experts. Consign yours. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Another violent weekend across Chicago is prompting a push for change this morning.
Community advocates expected to gather at City Hall to call for a more permanent fix to gun violence.
Ghetto. Low living. Just around the corner. Wait another 5 years. Wait, it's going to be great. You know what this needs? More money.
Donald Trump, Trump's Trump.
Let's focus everywhere they reside and everywhere they govern. Everywhere. From sea to shining sea. One giant ghetto.
Violence in the city. Saquon joins us live now with the latest. Hi, Say.
What'd you sing?
Hey guys, yeah, it was a very violent weekend all across Chicago, and this morning city leaders are really feeling that pressure to find a solution here.
Find a solution? Put away the criminal scumbags! We knew what the solution was in the 80s, Squirrel.
Gangs, the new Chicago mob, is a new Center 5 special reported by Carol Marine.
How long has she worked there?
Who is this new so-called Chicago mob? Well, according to police, the primary case in point is a group who in the 1960s was known as the Black Keystone Nation, who in the 1980s is known as El Rukn. According to police, it's a kind of crime syndicate. According to El Rukns, it's an Islamic religion.
Now, it's the Democrat Party. D on the north side.
Yes. My first words to you are, if you own property in the city of Chicago, don't be fooled. Don't sell that property. You're going to have the best property in the country.
Oh.
And the reason I'm saying that is because they're trying to drive everyone out. And we sit next to the new gold. And the new gold is that Lake Michigan. We have fresh water. It's going to be the biggest part of the next century.
I'll tell you what.
Fresh water.
Well, I'm in, although I look fantastic, I'm half a millennium, so I am going to, I'm a little more than half a millennium. I'm going to take my chances getting away from the ghetto. But water is water. And by the way, Rahm Emanuel increased your taxes on that water. So now you got water bills in the city of Chicago that are $14,000. So as long as people can afford to pay it, maybe you'll cash out after Iran drops a nuke. But Dee's got vision. She really does. And you could stay there. Just keep your head on a swivel.
According to Chicago police, more than 40 people are hurt. 7 people are dead after at least 24 shootings broke out since 5 p.m. on Friday. The largest incident happened on Juneteenth.
They do have water. Of course, 7 don't need it anymore.
So, check the oil, kick the tires, move the mirror around.
What's going to be the key deciding factor as to whether or not you're going to get in this? Basically, you've said
the IQ level of the nation. Because if you want to live in a ghetto, then you vote for a Democrat. If you hate your money, you hate your safety, you hate the rule of law, vote for a Democrat.
This is a city that's incredibly special to you, of course, too. As you were taking in today, what stuck out to you?
Well, sitting in the audience and watching the president speak, listening to Michelle Obama speak, and reviewing the history of his presidency, I must say I'm reminded that there once was a time, indeed during most of my life, when we had presidents who exhibited.
During most of your life. You're a trust fund, biatch. You never worked a day in your life. Have slaves over and over, from putting baby powder on your little baby ass to putting cornstarch on your big fat ass. You've always had a slave. You're going to pretend you know what the climate of America was? Thief? Not to mention, you've been on FBI tapes, Barack Obama, talking about Barack Obama with Rod Blagojevich. You wanted to buy a seat, fat boy? You think everybody forgot about that? So really the question is, how many low IQ thieving morons are there out there?
Donald Trump, Trump's Trump,
Let me introduce myself. I'm John Dean.
And you want to know what's funny? How many morons that are still Democrats pay for their own insurance? How many Democrats that vote Democrat pay for their own insurance, their own rent, their own food? It's the parasites versus the producers. Greg in LaGrange.
Hi, Shaun.
How are you?
During your talk, good. During your talk with E.J. Dion, and you came up with your prescriptions at the end. I mean, I'm not a big fan of forgiving debt or even manipulating interest rates on perceived debt. That's one thing I'd like to say right off the top. But the other thing is, I noticed, and I know you know it, but I didn't hear it, is that if you have government spending the way it does, that takes away that they have an unfair competition against private industry, no matter what kind of regulations you cut to get money, to borrow money, and that's got to stop. That's number one on the list, and then everything else I can see happening. But we also have to address the big physical debt.
But let's take one thing at a time, because when you make the statement and then we forget about it and then it gets swept under the rug, there is a financial crime afoot. Okay, and let's hear it from the highest economic advisor to one dimwit in diapers.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people.
Now, see that moron, the highest economic advisor. It's Jared Bernstein. All right, and you could and you go back through his own history, touts himself as an economist. That's the morons that made the financial crime of Obama and Biden. Now, did it carry through Trump? Yes. Is it carrying through Trump now? Yes, only because we let it. So in that fraud imbecile's struggle with the reality, what he cannot say, because it's a crime, is that unelected bureaucrats faked buyers for bonds. They faked it. And they bought bonds as the Fed. And they pay themselves interest. Where's the money go? There was no buyer. There was no buyer. They faked it so they could pretend they sold it, of which they didn't. And they pay the money with our taxes. Who gets the money, Greg?
Well, the banks will get the money.
What banks? What banks? Which ones? Why? Why would the bank get the money?
Why would they get the money? Because the interest is going there. We're not seeing it as.
But there is no buyer.
In the repo market.
Let's not go. There is no buyer. Who bought it? Nobody. You're going to pay nobody? They're stealing the money, brother. There was nobody. They say the banks. Which banks? Why would a bank get it? The bank didn't buy it. No bank bought it. Nobody bought it. Claude Rains bought it. The Invisible Man bought it. Come on.
Well,
so my offer to you is this. Nothing. We're done. That $1 trillion that you pretend is interest, how much of the trillion is to nobody? Now there is no money. Now I'm not paying you. What?
Audit it.
Exactly.
And the second point, let me get to my second point real quick, because I think it's really important. Yeah. I, as an individual, I cannot wake up every day and just keep hearing about these repetitions of mass shootings and bulldog crime every day, all day, on the news in the morning, whether I'm watching the news or hearing about horrific events on Juneteenth, on 19th.
Paul,
it happens all the time, and it gets lost. It gets
that's the desensitizing you. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I get that, but I get that, but this is no longer an abnormality in our society. It's a feature of the big blue cities.
Bingo.
That's why I'm working so hard to try and find a way out.
You can. You're a smart guy.
You cannot live in these areas.
No, you can't. You can't. Among the indecent, let them wallow in it. 312-642-5600.
What if everything you've been told about government, healthcare, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future in finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Why does Progressive help support truckers? Because truckers unite the world. Truckers unite whistles and lifeguards. Truckers unite fitness devices with people who don't exercise. Truckers unite your aunt with those live, laugh, love signs. But truckers can't do any of this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive helps safe truckers save an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. When people call us, they're often dealing with something overwhelming. An inherited home full of belongings, parent needing senior living, managing an estate while juggling everything else in life. Here's what our sellers have to say after working with us. The very thought of hiring an agent, a cleanup crew, and dealing with months of uncertainty was overwhelming. But Jeff's team gave me permission to just leave it all. I took what mattered and they handled everything else. Another seller wrote, even my Medicaid specialist said Jeff Buys Your House is the name to trust. They gave me a fair price without the traditional real estate headache. And this one, they handled every hiccup. Title issues, paperwork, estate complications. I finally felt relieved. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led team has earned hundreds of 5-star reviews for its professionalism, compassion, and seamless service. No repairs and no cleanout. Take your memories with you and we'll take care of the rest. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Let's say China. China. You go over to China. Take China.
So there's interesting stuff out there about what we're actually dealing against. What we're dealing against are self-loathing, America-hating, unable, incapable people who want to justify stealing your money. That's all it is. Parasites versus the producers.
About the sloganeering, about proud to be an American.
Okay, what about this idea? Are you proud to be an American? Extremely or very proud to be an American? Again, look at this divide, a growing divide on this question. Back in January of 2001, 90% of Republicans, 85% of Democrats. This was after a very contentious 2000 election, keep in mind, right, with George W. Bush coming into the White House. You come over to this side of the screen in 2026, look at this. Again, the Democratic percentage absolutely plummets to just 29% of Democrats say they're extremely or very proud to be an American. That Republican percentage, the exact same, 90 and 90.
That's the difference. 9 out of 10. Non-Democrats are very proud of this country. Less than 3 out of 10 so-called self-described, self-loathing Democrats are proud of the country, which means 7 out of 10 hate this country. That's why they vote for thieves like Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama, or that fat slob Pritzker, or Hochul, high on some sort of concoction of antidepressants, Merlot, and Botox in her mouth. We'll be back in 21. The fastest show ever, huh, Square? Fastest show on radio. We'll be back in 21.